Now I'm recording. Sorry about that. Either way, so as you guys know, there's been quite a few signals called, and there's a lot of questions in terms of how it works, how to tell what signal is what, and who made it, and all that other good jazz. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is we wanted to keep it to where it was just a signal from one of us three, since we can each verify kind of our accuracy. Who gave the signal isn't important. Your ability to analyze a signal is. So whatever your set of rules are, that's what you're going to be using to decide, should I take this? And again, that's pretty simple. You're going to compare it against your rules, and then you're also going to be looking at it and saying, okay, if this matches my rules, cool, and I can't take another trade until this one's in profit. So at this point, there's probably too many in that group. So just for conversation purposes, I personally like gbpusd, but I got in a little early, so I was already in profit on that one on another account. But I want you guys to see on this live, very recorded call, this is a real account. These are the last four of the number. And I took that USD CAD trade yesterday, but it closed me out in profit. I do expect that one to continue to fall, but as you guys know, I trade very, very, very protectively. So there's no drama, there's no anything. I trade to where once I'm in profit, I always protect my profit. I don't let the market makers or the market take anything from me. Does it mean that I get knocked out of a whole heck of a lot of trades? Absolutely, it does mean that. So just so you guys know. But to go over these trades real quick this morning, we have Euro GBP, USD Chef, odd NZD, CAD, JPY, and I'm also looking at gold for a sell. So as you guys can see, USD CAD is again dropping. We have officially broken another fractal level. So this is a trade that I would still call valid. It never hit a stop loss. It should still be moving. I would expect this trade to get quite a few pips. So if we line it up with just this template, there's plenty of templates, as you guys know. This is my super cluttered, hard to see one. But if we line it up with what we see on this frame, we are below the 50. We have an 8 and 18 recrossover coming. We have a broken a fractal level. So that's 1, 2, 3. Our ADX is saying it's a sell, and of course we have enough momentum in that. Our MACD is getting ready to cross back over the 0. Our profit filter extreme is saying sell. Our Renko maker is saying sell, and of course we have our USD, which is our Canadian dollar is stronger than our USD. This is a valid sell. So for those of you who are still in this trade, this is a good trade. And if we go out a little bit further, like what we're expecting to see from this is, if we continue, let's go ahead and make it really, really big, really quickly, is there's not a lot of resistance between where price is currently at and where it can fall. So potentially this trade could be worth anywhere, give or take 100 plus pips. But since we're trying to get you guys into trades and out of trades quickly to hit your 6 figures, that's kind of our ultimate goal. So that's what we're looking at. On you may get up to 150 pips, but I would say you're trying to get out with 50 or 60. So again, same concept, guys. Once you're in profit, you're going to protect your profit. Then you can take your second trade if you're compounding on the high risk mentality, just so you know. Kind of, if you're going on a slower approach, you can take up to 4 trades at a time. So from where price is currently at to even the next form of resistance, you're looking at about maybe 70 pips. Let's take away the spread and really play it underdog it. So this is a valid trade, and it is currently moving. So USD is kind of still getting still had a little strength, but that is what we're looking at in terms of that pair. Now, if we analyze that against like the triple arrows and everything else, we would be going with the trend. That's what this trade is all about, is going with the trend. This pair is trending down. We want to continue selling it down. I realize it's against the daily dots. Okay, so that obviously doesn't count as a confirmation, but if we count just simple math, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have enough of our checklist out of however many confirmations to say that this is a valid sell for a certain amount of pips. So I'll take that same pair, and I'm going to go over to our triple arrow system. I'm going to drop the USD CAD on there. 1 second. The biggest downfall to USD obviously is the insane amount of news. So we do have news coming up in terms of the job openings. I don't really know. Hold on. Alexa, stop. Sorry, that's my Alexa device. I kind of have it do everything. I have them in every room. So we're currently on the 4-hour chart. We do have a big arrow, but we know this is going to be kind of coming down to a certain point. So that's what I see when we're looking at this pair. One of the first ones that were called in the group. So I know gold went over 50 pips into profit for those of you who took that trade, and I'm pretty sure because I sleep during London, so I can't attest to that personally, but I wanted to definitely analyze this pair. So any questions in terms of USD CAD? Anybody at all? Chat? You playing, DJ? I want to put on my music and like, I had to take a shower this morning because I just barely got done like sweating. It's hot here, so you go take a walk here, you sweat. Sweat. So today what we're doing is we're just kind of quickly going to go over what to expect. USD CAD sell is still valid. Thank you, Jezebella. God, I love your name. Jaleesa. Well, just tell me how to say it, but either way, your name is very pretty. Sell is still valid. That's correct. Okay. It is definitely still a valid trade. You're going with the trend. You're not going against the trend. Your ability to get X amount of pips out of this, you should be in profit if you took the original signal. Move your stop loss into profit. If you did not already, you could re-enter where you're currently moving. Cool. But that's the whole concept of it all. So to go to the next trade, the one that was most recently called, and I'm not going to discuss who called it. In fact, I don't even know. There was a couple that I would have called if I was up at that time. But since I wasn't, I did not. So right now, this is Euro GBP. Everybody knows this is moving. As for me, I want to see it break that low. So we have enough confirmation saying this is a sell. So when I first looked this morning, here's what we got. We're not quite at this broken of a low, and even when we do, this is a pretty slow mover, a very expensive pair, and a slow moving pair. So the plus side is obviously GBP is very strong, Euro is very weak. GBP is the strongest pair currently across several different currency strength indicators that I use. So multiple screens I have up right now. This is a good trade. I would personally like to see this move a little bit lower because it's kind of been bouncing around this point for a while. I want to see it break a new low. But if we just, again, keep it very, very simple, we have one confirmation, two, not yet here, but this is now crossed back over below the zero, so that's 3. Our ADX is saying it's a sell, and we definitely have our momentum on above 25, so that's 4. We're below the 50, that's 5. 8 and 18 crossover is 6. I believe we are in the same direction as the 4-hour triple arrows. I can check. Let's give it a check real quick. Find out together. Okay. So we do have a big arrow here. That's one of the reasons why I'm not too fond of it. It's not the big arrow, it's this big doji. So I wanted to break that doji. I wanted to make a momentum move. Do I think this is going to drop? Yeah. But your risk to reward ratio on this one is not perfect. So for me, I'm going to kind of hold off until I see it make a lower low, and then decide if my risk to reward is worth entering. So all we're going to be doing, guys, is taking one of these signals, because there were several dropped. Take a single signal. You're going to enter it according to your compounding sheet. Okay. From there, let me go back to my other template. Okay, from there, once you're in profit, you can definitely take the next trade, but you have to have your profit at least covered. Worst case scenario, it takes us an extra, 10 trades because some of them got knocked down at 0. Cool, then do that. But don't be the silly one who tries to take 4 or 5 trades, skips trades, and then they just don't understand. So the whole concept of this is to take those signals, go to your compounding chart, find the account balance that yours is closest to. Okay, so closest to but not greater than. So that number cannot be greater than what's actually in your account. Use the lot sizes to the right of that, in that row. And from there, once you're in profit, you move your stop into profit. By how much is up to you. Because obviously GBP pairs move hundreds of pips. So this one moves a ton. This was gold. But some of them, they just move like 40 pips. So on that one, you can move your stop loss into profit once you're like 5 pips in profit. Just by 1 or 2, now you're at break even. You're not going to let the market take anything from you. And then you can obviously go to the next trade. And then you could do that multiple times. But on a GBP pair, you probably need at least 10, maybe 15 pips. And even that's kind of pushing it, just so you know. But that's the reality of it. So, again, if we're looking at gold, guys, and we look at the bigger picture, sorry. This isn't super what I had in mind, but my inbox is full of people who say, I couldn't get in. Can I please just jump on today? So I cleared it with Pat, and Pat said, okay, so this morning, the whole concept is just going to be to answer questions so you guys super understand, so you guys super know what's going to be happening. All we're going to do is kind of hang out. I'm hoping that some of you guys with trading experience are willing to share your setups. Let's see what you're looking at. And then we can kind of analyze them together and just hang out. I think that I'd have to put my music on my computer and not my Alexa because it'll sound clearer to you guys. But that's really it. We'll take the signals that are thrown in the group. If it's mine, I'll do my best to make a video. Sometimes I won't. I'll just post a signal. So, but looking at gold, wow, I'm just talking a whole bunch this morning. Looking at gold right here, right now, everyone's wanting to buy this pair. But as you guys can see, we just officially made a lower low. So we're retesting that low currently. We're currently on the 1 hour chart, as you guys can see. And by all accounts, if I zoom back out, we officially broke a low that hasn't been broken since August, right? We are below that. That blue line I drew says, okay, we broke that low. I'm expecting this to continue dropping. That is what I think most of the professional traders are looking at. We are due a pullback, which is what we're looking at right now. But we officially broke structure. And we broke pretty heavy structure. Okay, we haven't broke below this point since here, actually. So it's the last time we broke below it. I would wait. This is a nice little pullback that you're seeing currently. So let's take a look. Whoever posted in the group and said, hey, we should be buying. No, we just made a lower low. So we broke that fractal level. We've officially broken this support. We made an impulse move. Notice how this candle is bigger than most of these. So we're going to call that an impulse move. Now, of course, we need a correction or a flag or whatever you guys want to call it, according to your mumbo jumbo language. But that's what you're looking at. That's all this is. This wick to the downside says maybe I wouldn't sell just yet, but this is looking like a sell. No, it's not one that I'm going to be entering and at this moment, nor is it one that I want to take a signal on. So, but the USD CAD on this account, again, same account, that is a trade that if I had to pick one, that is the one I'd like to enter. It's that one. So, but I'm going to go over these trades before we pick which one we're going to enter. At least these ones that were put in the group. So, for the Telegram, sorry. Gotcha. So USD Chef was another trade that's called. I mean, so you guys at this point have too many trades, way too many trades to decide from. They're calling this a sell, and as you guys can see, if we simply line it up with what we have on screen, do we have enough confirmations? Yes or no? It's super simple. Again, I'd like to see it break this fractal level and that 50 preferably, but is it a valid sell? Yes. Your Chef is definitely stronger than your USD. We are selling, a seller's market on our Rinco. So this is getting close to break the MACD. It's not there yet. And of course, we have the momentum line is coming up above the 40, and our sellers are still in control. So this is, again, a valid sell. So when you analyze these trades, guys, you're going to pick the best one out of, whatever 6 or 7 you guys got this morning, enter that one, and then have your next runner up. So once that one is in profit, you can take your next trade. You just can't be in a whole bunch of them at one time. So again, this is a pretty valid trade, like across the board in terms of how it's made. This is a now and later trade. This is a trending up market. So I'd want to see some solid push. I know that's really messy and hard for you guys to see, but this market is going up. So I want to see a solid push to go down before I risk my account on that. We have a double top, which of course is an indication of a sell. We did not break the 50 yet though, and I really want to see that happen. Because even if we're patient, guys, even if we're patient with what we're entering, and when I critique these trades with you, it's not to say that somebody else is wrong. It's just so you guys are learning to critique your own trades. So even if we take the trade late, quote unquote, what people call late, could you still get your money out of it? So let's say we wait till it breaks that fractal and then of course a little bit lower. Do we have enough room to get 40, 50 pips out of this trade? We absolutely do. We absolutely do. So don't be afraid to kind of watch these and decide how and when you're going to take them. So as I told you guys, this was another signal that was just called as a buy. I like this one in GBP odd, which I'm in GBP odd in another account. But I got in a little early. So 1 hour chart, we officially have buyers in control. The only thing I don't love about this trade particularly, let me close this so you guys can see it more clearly, is that the Canadian dollar is pretty strong. So yes, do I think this is probably going to win? I do. But the Canadian dollar is pretty strong, so I don't want them competing. I want something that has some space and some volume between these two lines, no matter which currency strength indicator you're using. So if you go check the free one currency heat wave, no matter what you're using, like just make sure you're kind of comparing it to what's your best bet. Because the reality is, guys, we're going to find 10, 15, 20 setups in a morning. But the truth is we can only take 1 or 2 of them. So we don't have to take them all. So having said that, I do like most of the GBP pairs for a buy. And as you guys can see, this is going up. We are above the 50. I love that. Definitely the daily dots aren't super appealing. I hate that we're against it. But again, GBP is stronger. This is saying buy, buy. We're above the 0, buy. And now we've got momentum pushing us above that 40, which is exactly what I want to see. Our sellers are staying real low, and I like that. So this has enough confirmations for a buy. It's just not my favorite one, primarily because the Canadian dollar is still pretty strong. Now, the value of like the GBP versus the Canadian dollar is clearly different. So I don't want to become an economic expert, but if each thing is worth X amount of cents according to American dollars, the reason why this can still be going up, even though they're technically both going up, is because the differential in the value. So I don't want to play the differential. I want to, spread bet on the huge gap of one going down and one going up. So, and back to the signals. Everybody and their mama has been trying to sell Odd Chef. It did make a nice trade this morning for a buy because it just pushed up really hard. This is another signal. So when we're taking these signals, oopsie, sorry guys. Here we go. I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to go to the triple arrow system. The odd NZD is not my favorite pair because they're so closely correlated in news, but this is a good trade. Again, I don't prefer this trade too much. Let me get it on my chart. This has been consolidating and it has yet to break. We did finally break above below the 50. Came back up to retest. I'm thinking we may even come up here to the average daily high before we finally drop out. But as you guys can see, it's not a fast mover. So now that we're at this peak here, for a safe entry, you would have a much tighter stop by taking an entry here. So it's definitely not a bad trade. Again, this is one that you're going to put on your list and say, okay, here's the first one I'm going to take. Here's the second one I'm going to take. And then you just keep doing that. You guys could potentially have closed out in maybe 10 or 15 trades this week. And then, no, you're not going to be super close to your 6 figures yet, but 10 or 15 trades that all closed in profit, potentially maybe 1 or 2 losses. That's all it's going to take. That's literally it. So, trying to go back through here. GBP CAD. We went through that. USD Chef. And then somebody had messaged me last night about the CAD JPY, and that was also a signal in the group. This was meant to be a now and later signal. So I'm pretty sure it went into profit. I won't take this trade for the simple purpose that it's still making higher highs. So when you guys analyze this trade, you have to analyze it according to your own decisions. So you can get the signal and kind of compare it to a now and later. You can compare it to, a set of 4-hour rules. Most of these trades are going to be called on a 1 hour or less time frame. That's for me, Pat, and Elvis. I mean, Elvis says the day chart, but we all know he uses the 5-minute tip for his entries. So we know kind of what we're looking at. So when this trade was called, did it go into profit? Yeah. But at this point, we're still making higher highs. So I'm waiting until we make lower lows. So I don't foresee selling this pair for myself just yet. Does that make sense? All right, I'm going to the chat real quick. Michelle, USD CAD is not everyone's favorite pair, but it's a very smooth mover. It sometimes will drag out for days, but I feel like it moves really smooth. I don't know how to say that. There's not a lot of market play. It doesn't have a huge ADR. You're right. And the only thing that makes this not like the best trade in the world where I'd be willing to risk a huge amount of my account is this right here. That's the only thing. That's it. So now we've kind of pulled back a little bit. We are currently at 8:47 Eastern time. So there's 13 minutes left on this candle to see if it's going to pull back a little more on this candle. And that's kind of what I would wait for, is just to see if this is going to finish pulling back a tiny bit. And then I want to enter and take it. So once I'm like 7-8 pips up on this pair, because this is not a fast mover, I'm moving my stop loss into profit. I don't need 1,000 pips. I just need not to take 1,000 losses. So to compound our accounts, guys, we don't need a bajillion pips. We just need to have a pretty high accuracy ratio. And the only way to do that is to not be losing a bunch of trades. So that's all we're doing. Does anybody have any major super questions? Because there was just too many. My Telegram is still going off about 100 times right now. People who can't connect, people who can't get in, people who misunderstood. So we're just trying to get everybody together and to figure out how we're doing this, so you guys have a clear understanding that the signals are meant for you to analyze. I'm not going to critique Pat's. He's not going to critique mine. I'm just going to tell you, here's what I'm looking at. Here's what we can do. I think all of those trades are valid eventually. And I think that they were valid last night in London. But now that it's New York, I can't take an entry on certain things. And I'm sure, like, if I made a call, he couldn't take an entry on that in London because that trade is no longer valid. So I just wanted to make sure you guys all have a super clear understanding, and I wanted to start by going over those signals. So can we please look at GJ for an upcoming sell? Yes, that wrinkle maker is free. We can drop it in the group. And GJ for a sell. GBP is really strong, so to try to compete with that would be silly. I mean, on the now and later, Michelle, can you talk? Are you free? Yikes.
Yes, sorry, I'm free, yeah.
Okay, so tell me what time frame and what you're looking at. So what system, what time frame, and what are you looking at?
Just in general, I'm actually looking at the 15 time frame. I do have a bunch of other indicators I'm using, so it's a little bit different to what you're doing. So I'm just kind of get a feeling for what you're looking at compared to what I'm actually seeing in my indicators. Kind of just get a feeling for it.
Okay, so we've got our triple arrows are saying sell, but that happened over here and it dropped, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that already happened. So this could be a double top. But so what do you see on your screen that's telling you that this is going to sell? Because I see the GBP is stronger. I see that we're above the 0 line. We're above the 50. We've got some support for a pullback. But that's where we have to learn the difference between like a pullback, a continuation, an entry. It gets a whole different level of trading once we get to a more advanced level. I think that's what a lot of us need to get at.
Well, what I'm looking at is GJ hitting a verified resistance, and it's been retested once. And what I'm seeing also is on M15 channel going upwards. So obviously, yeah, I'm kind of going against what's happening. But I do see I'm using a volatility quality indicator and kind of like a bull bear one. It's kind of just pointing so much upwards that it looks like it's gonna reverse, but as the window is not enough, that's the maximum it can hit. So that's why I'm kind of waiting for a reversal point.
Okay, gotcha. Well, look, I'm not going to dare tell you that that's wrong or right. Like, I have a volatility thing on one of the other screens I'm looking at, like, right in front of me. But here's the deal. I can just tell you that we're never going to sit and wait for the market to, do what we think it should do. Our job is to follow what the market is doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really probably the only thing I can tell you. So right now, like, according to the triple arrow, this is a nice double top. And could it be valid for a few pips? Absolutely. We definitely could, according to the triple arrows. The daily dots are on this. Let's find out. Daily dots are on the bottom. but GBP is very, very, very strong. And even the now and later says we're supposed to be checking it up against like the 1 hour and the 4 hour, right? Or the 30 minute. So if we go to, I'm so sorry, that's so much clutter for you. So this is our 30 minute. We have a big arrow here. And this is our 1 hour, right? So we made another higher high. We broke this, kind of a nice pullback, bounced off the 50, and now we're up here. So we have some wicks to the upside, which may be, you know, a signaling that this could go down a little. But that's totally up to you. If it breaks this high, okay, then your trade is no longer valid anyway, right?
Because what I'm thinking is, if we're looking at slow moving pairs, and then I have really, I think the USD JPY we looked at, it was at 60 something and it moved already, or the signal that was sent out, it already moved 30 pips. And now if I'm looking at GJ, which has a much higher ADR, isn't it more likely to actually go against the trend? So I could actually quickly grab my 20 pips instead of waiting for a slow moving pair, even though, I mean, the GJ setup is not yet there, but just kind of looking at the ADR.
That's a valid question. I understand your thought process. And obviously we all love GBP pairs. They move faster.
True.
But you don't be in so many GBP pairs at a time. So if I have to pick one, I'm going to pick the ones that are going with the trend. So with the trend, right? So GBP odd for a buy, when it breaks this for a continuation, I'm looking for this to buy. Okay. GBP CAD was a signal that was dropped in the signals channel. Okay, that's what you guys are paying to receive. This is buying. This is currently buying. So for those who entered when that signal was sent out, you are in profit. Like, you are already in profit. I don't know by how much. Give or take, you could be up 20 pips already on that one pair. If I have to pick a GBP pair, I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to even pick Euro GBP. Euro GBP doesn't move very fast, which people get, even myself, get turned off by. However, this pair is worth twice as much. So now we've officially broke this. This is valid for a sell. So if I'm going to pick a GBP pair, Michelle, like, I'm not going to go with the one that's counter trended. That would be foolish of me, because the GBP is the strongest pair currently. So why would I try to sell this?
True. I mean, it's just because for me with the indicators, it works for at least 20 pips going against the trend. And I was just wondering.
Yeah, no, it's okay. If that works for you, like, we all have to find our own style. And that worked for me for a while. I played pullbacks and it was a lot of fun. It worked for a long time until it didn't work anymore. And
but then would you say if there's, for example, 7 setups and 6 of them or 5 of them are slow moving pairs, and then but they have better setups, you'd rather wait for the slow moving pairs, or would you go with maybe one less confluence on the 2 other ones, which are moving faster?
No. Please understand that the more volatile the pair is, the more you need. So the more volatile the pair is, the huger this number is, you better be right. Look, it's not a big deal if you're trading 5% of your account, but when you get to 30% of your account, you can't afford to be wrong. So no, that's the exact opposite of my thinking. Like, as loving, as gentle as possible, that is literally the exact opposite of my thinking. Again, if this is huge, I need to be right, or it's going to knock me out, and it's going to knock me out quickly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. I hope that helps.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we've got a couple trades to pick from that are currently signals in the group. We can choose from USD CAD, Euro GBP. Which trade do you guys find to be the better trade? Or which one have you already entered?
USD CAD.
Okay, who's this?
Will.
Hey, Will, how are you?
Fine.
Good morning.
How you
Okay,
doing?
so if we're on this sheet and my account balance is $100 or less, right? What's my lot size going to be?
25.
And we're going for approximately
25.
50 pips. 30. So we could do a 0.04, 0.05,
or 0.08
or 0.08.
and go for 25 pips.
Yeah, we could. But this trade is valid for a lot more than 25 pips. So I'm definitely going to do like a 0.05.
But don't you think it's too? Don't you think it has gone all the way down already, or it's still valid?
Yeah, I think it's still valid. I do. Because you're going with the trend. So is this a super fast mover? No, it's not. Here, I'm going to put this on the screen. Definitely is not. It's not a fast mover. This is kind of what I expected it to do at the end of the hour, is to kind of make a nice wick. So I wanted the best possible entry. And that's what the market is currently doing. It's going up just marginally. If you entered when the original signal was called, let's see, I don't know.
You should be in profit by now. I'm entering late. I just entered, so it's real late, I think.
It's okay, because I had a lot of people message me and say, hey, they got 8 pips. So if you're playing this protectively, which again, you guys cannot compound effectively if you're not being protective. So if you're going to compound effectively, your first job is to protect your pips. It doesn't matter if you only get a few. So what? It takes you an extra 10 trades. But when you're getting 20 trades a week, that's not a big deal. So I'm going to stick with the 0.05 because I know that we could average pulling out of this, at least 35, 55.
Yeah, I'm more the
Okay. That works for me. That's kind of a nice in between, and I don't have to.
I think it already went up like about 16, 17 pips in profit if you enter it early.
Yep. Okay, so I entered that trade. So if I drag my stop loss up to its previous high, I'm going to put it above this fractal, which is approximately 30 pips.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Okay. This is not like super, super hard, guys. That's a mess. I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to minimize. Go to this other template so you guys can actually see what we're doing. There's my alert on GBP on. Sorry about the noise. I'll try to figure out how to turn that off.
So how many profit are you going for?
So I'm about to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this at a take profit of 55 pips, give or take, right? Now watch. I'm going to right click on this trade. Okay. I'm going to always apply a trailing stop. Okay. This is not a super fast mover. Put this back on the screen. So my trailing stop, I'm going to say is 15 pips. So if I'm 15 pips or more, it's going to protect that profit. Also, I'm going to be able to, once I'm in profit, I'm going to move my stop loss up. Always, always, always. The truth is we can probably get more out of this trade. We can only be in so many trades at one time. So there's that one. When that's in profit, okay, my next entry would be Euro GBP, which again is not a fast mover, but it pays twice as much. So we're not going to get a bunch of pips, but you guys have to understand that each one of those pips is worth twice as much as other pairs. Like in terms of like what its pip value is. If anybody has a pip calculator currently, like you guys can go see the difference between GBP odd and Euro GBP. So I just got a signal, as you guys saw, from Trading View, and basically what's happening, this is going up. So we're currently in profit on USD CAD. We have 4,000% margin level available. We have enough room to take another trade. We can choose between GBP CAD, GBP odd, or any of the other signals put in that group. Does anybody at all have a preference? Anybody at all have something they've looked at or news they've checked or a reason why we think we should avoid one or another? Going once.
So Euro GBP, okay.
So we can choose between Euro GBP. So if we're kind of analyzing it according to this, obviously Euro is very weak. We've got GBP odd, which is one of my favorites, GBP CAD. And let's take a look at GBP NZD. Does anybody have a preference?
GBP CAD is dropping right now if we're looking for a buy.
Yeah, we're looking for a buy. Who's that talking?
This is Lewis.
Lewis. How are you? I don't think you've ever been on a call.
Good morning. No, not really. It's I was in it just now for the buy. I moved my stop loss up, and it took me out just now. So it's coming down if we're still looking for it to go back up.
Well, yeah, when you have an engulfing candle retesting, 50% of that is pretty common. It happens all the time. So this is an engulfing candle compared to the other ones. We'll come back up and retest it. It's not my favorite, though. Like, anybody else have a say in this? Anybody at all?
So the Europe GPP, is it for a sale?
Yes, sir. Well,
I think so. I'm looking at for a sale.
Yep, that's correct. We can go for a very small amount of pips on Euro GBP. I'm going to wait till it kind of pulls back a little. We've officially broke this point. See that? We broke that fractal level. It's not a whole bunch of pips. I'm going to bring it to a bigger time frame. Let's see what we're looking at. Boom. 1 second. Let it load. To its next major support would be here.
I got in that one. Jenny, this is Lewis again. Kind of right after the signal was placed, and I'm up 11 pips right now.
Awesome. Now, okay, the question is, are you compounding? It's like, what percentage of a trade did you just take?
I took a 2-cent trade.
Okay, gotcha. And how big is your account?
Very small. This is actually my first 2 trades that I took.
Okay, so if you want to compound, the idea is, do you have a copy of that spreadsheet?
I do.
Okay, the whole idea is to absolutely 100% of the time, every trade should be the next larger trade, every trade.
Okay.
That's the entire idea, so. We're at the top of the hour. We're officially at 9:05. It's the open of New York. Let's take a look. I want that to pull back a tiny, tiny bit. And again, we broke that fractal. We are officially buying. I just got several alerts for a buy stop on GBP JPY. If Michelle is wondering, everyone's just waiting for it to break that. So I tried not to trade against the trend to the best of my ability. I wait for continuations or things that are with the trend. It's just what I do. So, all right, does anybody have any questions in terms of the 6-figure, the signals, how we're compounding, or what we're going to be doing?
Compounding. Can you go over the compounding one more time, please?
To answer that person's question in the group, I consider the trend as something that is on the 1 hour or 4 hour, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go over compounding. Do we wanna pick one more trade? Which means Euro GBP, okay? We can pick Euro GBP, we can pick GBP NZD, GBP CAD, or GBP ON. Maybe not GBP CAD yet. Anybody at all? Got a say, got news? Got any reason or why we should pick one or another?
Hey, Jenny.
Who is this, Steve? Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, this is Steve. I'm doing okay. How are you?
Wonderful.
Good. Just had a quick question about EG.
Yes, sir.
Is it too late to enter that trade, or are we waiting to enter?
No, so the signal was called out in the group, so if you entered it, you're already in profit. I'm pretty sure whoever entered it, as soon as it came out, they should be in profit. As of right now, I kind of expected to kind of pull back like to a little bit of this candle, or it could come out violently. But this is a kind of a slow moving pair, so we could see something like this. So Euro has news on Thursday. Other than that, I mean, this should be a very, very easy to do trade. So you're not too late by any means. In fact, you might end up with let's find out. There we go. And this is a new candle and this is dropping. So it might not give us that. This is a brand new candle. See?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome.
So, McJenny, let's say, for example, you have a $100 account and you enter your first trade 0.8, and then in the second, if you want to enter UFGPP, what the loss side you usually do? That's why I'm a little bit. That's why I get confused.
Well, that's why I want to take the next trade, and so you guys can see. So this is Euro GBP. What is my current account balance? My current account balance is still only $100, right?
Right.
Less than 120, right? So if I'm going for example, 55 pips, okay? When I take this trade, I really want you guys to understand what we're doing and how we're doing it. And keep in mind, this pair is worth a lot more too, so that's kind of makes it different. I'm going to take this trade as per the account balance my current account balance is. When I try to outdo that, what's going to happen is I'm going to blow my account. Because you can't trade account sizes and account balances that you don't have yet. This whole compounding algorithm is based off of your available funds, your margin level percentage that you have available. So just to kind of show you, I'm just trying to make sure you guys super understand what we're doing. My next trade cannot be bigger than whatever my account balance is, right? So my account balance is still less than $100. Well, sorry, it is $100. So that means I'm looking at a 55 pip trade, and this is what the account size I'm going to be using, right?
Right.
So this is the size of my next trade. This is how it works. And then you continue to keep doing that. So if I'm going to put my stop loss, try to keep a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, always to the best of our ability. So this is based off of 50 pips. There you go. That's what you're looking at. So once those trades are protected, okay, it's different, but you can only take trades based off of what you currently have in your account. When I've done this as high as 37%. That's the highest I've ever went in terms of per trade, how much I'm compounding.
So what was the loss side on the second trade?
The first trade was 0.04 and the 0.05.
Okay.
So, well, no, they're both 0.05.
So if you go for 0.08, what will be the next? If you go, and then if you want to take GPP, what will be the loss side for that?
Looky, you can't take more than 2 trades if you're trying to compound like this.
Yes.
I want to give you guys the safe answer. The truth is there's a lot of ways to make it work, but I don't want to tell you that and then have 50 people message me and say they blew their account. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Because when I really desperately just want you guys to see if I can help 10 of you or 50 of you, honest to God, in real life, hit 6 figures in your account in the next couple of months, like that's life-changing. That's my goal. And I love people, but we all know that they don't always follow instructions. They don't always understand. And sometimes through no fault of their own. This is just the reality of things, right? So I can't sit here and tell you technically we can hold 5 trades. Technically we can do this and that, because then there's so many people who are going to be like, well, Jenny said, and then, yeah. I will tell you on this call that is recorded, this right here, your margin level percent, don't ever let it get below 500. If it gets close to 500, start closing trades. Okay? As you guys notice, if you did these same size trades in a Hugo's Way account with 500 to 1 leverage, you have a lot less than 2,000%. You'd have maybe a couple 100%. That's the reason why we're using such high leverage. So our equity is still very high. We're not using a whole bunch. And then as this challenge gets rolling, and once the groups are finally where they're supposed to be, like then we can really just blast it off. I'm not going to take a whole bunch of names. I'm not going to ask a bunch of questions. I just want to kick a bunch of butt. So in the most loving way possible, my goal is simply to make this happen, take some trades. Okay, cool, that one's in profit. We're going to take the next trade. But you guys have to be able to sufficiently manage your account and manage your trades, period, across the board. Okay, so can some of you do this in way shorter time? Yes. I just can't do that publicly because I'm going to be a bad influence. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Yes. Protect us, Jenny. Protect us.
I'm trying to do like
Yes, please do.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, awesome. So this percentage is what you guys are paying attention to. Always, always, always. Now, you guys will know we can do this quicker. We can do this better, more effectively, higher risk, a high chance of blowing your account. But it is possible to baby this and then blow $100 account, like make it to where this has barely gets like 200 or 300%. I mean, and we've done that with other groups, and it's been a lot of fun, just so you know. So, but I do want to real quick show you guys this compounding sheet. I need you guys to understand. So I'm going to go to a new share, basic. There we go. Share. I'm going to close that. My yellow dots are daily. Yes. Okay, so can you guys all see this? Everyone can see this right here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super simple, guys. If your account is less than this amount, this is the trade you can take. This is it. Okay, oh, I changed mine for a different reason. I'm so sorry. Now I'm being a really bad influence. I had to pull some up for somebody. So let's say 25, 40, and 55. Okay. So if this is the size of a trade you're taking, this is the size of your account, you can take one position with this. You can actually be in a couple at a time, but we don't want you guys to over leverage on one pair. We don't want you to over leverage per account. As you guys can see, it's not an issue here. I promise you, it's a huge issue here. Okay, it's going to be an issue. And that's not that many trades away from 6 figures, just so you guys know. 6 figures happens here, 48 trades. That's granted with an accuracy percentage super high. But at this rate, I think we're already at a dozen signals, one of which lost from my understanding. But figure it's Tuesday, on average anywhere from 15 to 20 trades a week, 10 to 20 trades a week. This wouldn't take you very long. So even if some of them closed out at just above break even, you're talking a very short amount of time to find 48 winning trades, a couple months at the most, if you manage your trades appropriately. So if your account is less than $120, you're going to stay in this row and use these lot sizes, okay? That's what you're going to do. And everyone thinks just because you're going for less pips, this is the best bet. No, this is the less best bet, not the best bet, okay? The goal is not just to take the highest lot size we possibly can afford, because we want to be able to take the next trades. And if we take them all on this lot size, it's a lot harder to take the next trades because now you're risking over leveraging. So again, you get your next trade, you analyze it according to whether or not it matches your rules. You come over here, you say, okay, if I'm going for about 55 pips, 40 pips, 25 pips, if I had it, I would make everybody stay in this lane. I wouldn't let them go to here, and I wouldn't go slow here. And I'd have everybody kind of stay in this lane. It's just super simple across the board. It's way easy to do. No questions, no problems at all. So very, very simple. Does anybody not understand what you're doing? Because there are rules written out right here. If you read them a couple of times. Oops.
Good morning, Jenny.
Jenny, this is Aliqua.
Hey, Aliqua, and then the gentleman. We'll take Aliqua first, and then
Okay.
Quick question. For column E, do we put our gains and losses in that column?
where?
You got E. E is like empty. You got take profit. Yeah, right there, down.
No.
That's what I did because I didn't know, and I just highlighted the block green of the profits that I made, so I'll know like for the next day.
I mean, no, the last spreadsheet I had a place where you can do that. This
Yeah, that's the one I got. So
yeah, this is meant to just help you understand. So it's not going to be dollar for dollar because as you guys know, Euro GBP is worth twice as much as like GBP odd.
okay.
This isn't going to equal dollar for dollar. So don't be surprised when like your trade closes and you're like, hey, I didn't make exactly $20. And that's okay because there's commissions. If you're not using AFX, there's swap fees and commissions. If you are using AFX, there's a spread and other factors. Plus, there's also the fact that like USD pairs trade at $10 per pip, whereas like Euro GBP is like almost 13, and then like GBP odd is like $6 per pip.
Okay, it was just like for better management for me, so I know to track, my profits and learning lessons. I won't say losses. Learning lessons in it since E was blank, so I just decided to throw it in there. But I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I was doing that too. I wouldn't probably continue doing it because I don't want people to get like, I'm supposed to be on this trade, but my account balance is only here. Like if your account balance is here, cool, no problem. All you're doing is finding the number that most closely matches your account size, but is not
Right.
greater than your account size. And then just take that trade because then you don't have to keep track of all those ones that kind of closed out with a couple pips. You can just keep on trading.
Okay.
So,
Ms. Gina, I have a question.
yes, sir.
I have a question on AUD New Zealand. It was for sale. When you was talking about it, I wasn't on the line. Can you go over that for me? I don't know. I don't think it's brought it for sale. That's what I'm looking at, but the signal was given for sale.
Somebody put that in the group, a sell?
Yeah. Aussie New Zealand. It says sell Aussie. It says sell Aussie New Zealand.
Oh, Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, that's supposed to be a sell. Okay, can I go over that chart in just a minute with you? I would love to do that. But first, is there any questions about this particular spreadsheet? I want you guys
Yeah,
to
I got one.
how we're doing this.
Yeah, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, what if your leverage 1 in 500? Do this spreadsheet still apply?
So I did my best to answer all the questions that I've gotten. So if your account, if you have less than 1,000 to 1 leverage, okay, you need to put half of your actual balance here, okay?
Okay.
50% of your actual balance. So change box B2 to 50% of your starting balance if you're using less than 1,000 to 1 leverage. So you can technically, which I don't want to say this on a public live recorded call, but I will be honest when I say technically you can do 20% on a 500 to 1 leverage. You just can't do it very effectively. Like you have to be on point, meaning that if you're wrong, your odds of blowing account are extremely high because you don't have the leverage in there to protect yourself. So technically you can do 20% growth even with the 500 to 1 leverage, but you just have to be very careful. You cannot be more than 2 trades. You definitely cannot be going to enter your second trade when your first is not in profit. When you're having like 1,000 to 1 or 2,000 to 1 leverage, there's way more room to play with. But because I have to try to create rules that apply to all of you, which again was not my original intention, that's why we wrote it all out. We're trying to accommodate people who are at all different levels because I really just want you guys to hit 6 figures, and that's my goal. So I'm trying to accommodate the people who didn't switch over to a 2,000 to 1 leverage account, who did not do a 1,000 to 1 leverage account, who do not follow instructions super, super well. So that's my goal, is just to help you get there in a safe manner. You can do it, but you got to be careful. So don't fuss if you blow an account when you have 500 to 1 leverage, because it's very, 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 very likely, because you just don't have enough leverage to cover it. Here is not a problem. This isn't the issue. But ready, let's say you have 28,000 in your account. You did not take it out to pay off your car, did not take it out to, whatever you needed to do. You kept it in there, and just try to really imagine what it feels like to have $28,000 in your account. And you go to use this lot size. Well, let's go mid-grade. Let's go moderate, okay? You use this lot size. One trade spikes the wrong way on a 500 to 1 leverage account. Your odds of blowing that account are very, very, very high.
Got you.
So you know.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next question. Anything about compounding your account, how the signals work, what to expect? All you're doing is taking trade jump in on me?
Hey, I have a question, Jenny.
Yes, sir.
I've been trying to catch up a little bit. I need to know where can I get the spreadsheet?
I can send it to you, or I'll post it in the group again now that I've edited it a little bit. And I also have a safe compounding sheet too, right here, guys. Super safe, no drama. But I will add this to the group again. This is on the website, actually. Pat uploaded it to the website. And because we're trying to protect everybody, that's why we had to do it a little differently. I need you guys to fully understand what we're doing. So this is on the website too, but I will share it right now. Okay.
Okay, great.
So your recommendation is 1,000 to 1 leverage, right?
If you want to, if I could believe and know, like in my heart of hearts, that every single one of you guys had 1,000 to 1 leverage or greater, I would do this entire thing way different. But since I have to be protective and mindful of everybody involved, yeah, I do recommend 1,000 to 1 or greater. I do have affiliate links for what is that, AFX, and they have 2,000 to 1, just so you know. Okay. All right, next question.
Hey, Jenny.
Hi, Milton.
Wonderful, and yourself?
Good morning. Hello?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, on the USD CAD, what's the take profit did you put it in?
Okay, so we can do that too when we get back to the charts. This is probably close to the same take profits that are already in that signal. Very, very close. Because that is a signal dropped in the actual chat. So. So I've got a note on my desk that say go over USD CAD and on NZD. Okay, so we will go over that just here in a second, okay?
Okay.
In terms of the compounding, the signals group, because guys, my inbox is full. I couldn't even find the messages this morning. There's so many. I just wanted to make sure. That's why Pat and I said, okay, we're going to step back and see if there's anything I can do to help you understand how we're using the signals, how we're going to do the calls, how we're going to compound the charts. Anything at all in terms of this, and I'm going to go back to the charts. Anything at all.
Jenny.
Hey, Elliot.
Hey, how you doing?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I just want to check one thing. Under the balance, I have 1,000 to 1 leverage, and I have $200 in the account. So I put $200 under the balance. Is that correct?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, so that's different than, I know we talked in the past about using half of the amount.
Well, here's why. Ready? So change box B2 to 50% of your starting balance if you're using less than 1,000 to 1 leverage.
Okay, I read that and I saw that, and that's why I have the 200 in there, because I have 1,000 to 1. I just wanted to check that I was correct.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I had to make something that was going to apply to everyone. And it's a lot harder than you guys think. Like to try to hit all bases from that many people all the way around the world. So
no, for sure. I appreciate it too. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, so this is what we're doing. We're going to get a signal. We're going to take the trade based off of these sizes. And I promise you, if you're going to do that, you always protect your profits, follow these rules. There's no reason you guys cannot hit 6 figures very, very quickly. Okay? Very quickly. But I'm going to go back to...
Hello?
Hey, who's this?
This is James.
Hi, James. How are you? James? Can you hear me okay? There you are. Go ahead. Can I help you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're kind of breaking up there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, are the sessions that you have in the morning being recorded?
Okay, so Pat and I have decided this, that starting next week, guys, all I really want to do, and the whole purpose of this is to hang out, create like a family environment. I want our cameras on at least most of the time, or sometimes hang out, have some music playing, and look at charts together. So because we want that to be more of a trade lockout experience, those calls will not be recorded for the public. They will just be, this is what we're doing. I mean, obviously the signals group will still have an accurate record of all of our trades and all that other good jazz. But as for the calls in the morning, we are not going to record those. Those are going to be for the people who can attend. And I'm going to do some other stuff throughout the week to where we just have this. I know you guys aren't familiar with the concept, but in other groups, we called it a lockout, right? So everyone kind of comes on, we're hanging out, we're checking the charts, we're playing some music, we are compounding very, very high risk. This is fun. Very dangerous, but very fun. And
Yeah, true. I have another question too, Miss Jenny. Yeah, is this the only time y'all gonna do the 6-figure challenge? Or, I mean, like, you gonna do another one next year, or this just the only one?
ooh, I'm sorry, can you repeat your question? There was some background noise.
I'm saying, is this the only time they're gonna do the 6-figure challenge, or they might do another one next year, or what? Because I mean, I just got into trading maybe 6 months, and I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Can you risk $100?
Yeah, I can risk $100, but
Okay.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so this is it. Probably the only time.
The answer is no. Like, no hard feelings. Trust me. Like, some people, you know, they're just not mentally or emotionally there. That's okay. I wasn't mentally or emotionally there either for a long time. So no hard feelings when I say you can't. If you want to come and hang out, then I suggest you do something like this, 5 to 10% at the most. Okay. 5% would be better. And then you probably will never blow your account. You can see you can still make money with that. And if you feel like, okay, I can afford to blow $100 a few times with the bigger purpose in mind, what we're going to do is this, okay? It is high risk. It is a lot of fun. It is exciting. It's very like, you know, that kind of out of breath feeling sometimes when you literally have $30,000 on the line. I think the most of single day is this column right here, just so y'all know it's below here, okay? It's really exciting. It's scary. It's life-changing. It's fun, though. Doesn't mean you also can't lose this much in a single day, just so you know. You guys have the option of withdrawing like 5% every month or every week if you want to, like if you need to feel good about it. Most of my clients have never, ever taken a withdrawal, so I don't think it'll kill you if you withdraw just 5% of whatever you made that week. Withdraw it. Go do something for yourself. It might help you understand the concept of trading as a job versus trading as a hobby. So yeah, it will take you slightly longer, but not by much. Totally up to you. But this is meant to be fast-paced and exciting. And I know we've changed up quite a bit in terms of the approach, and that was primarily to protect Pat and protect the group, because again, there's a lot of legalities in terms of stuff like this. Too many crazy people in this world. But my mindset is still, let's keep it fun. Let's hang out. Let's blow a few $100 accounts together and see what happens. And the first time you guys make $36,000 in a day, you're gonna be like, oh, well, that was worth it. So imagine making that in a day.
Yeah. I mean, it is fun. I am enjoying it. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, I'm going to go back to the charts. Any questions in terms of compounding or what to expect or these rules, please read them. Please read them like 10 times before you message me asking me these same questions. Pretty please.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for this. I'm new to the group. I've been in here about 2 weeks. I've been watching the videos.
Welcome to the team.
So I guess I was going to start an account with $500. Are you saying $100 is better?
That's a good, okay. How long have you been trading?
2 weeks.
And no, don't give the market $500. The odds are you're going to put $500 in there. You're going to get really excited, maybe do decent. And then all of a sudden you're going to blow $500. Like that's very, very likely. So again, if you're new, I personally, if it was me telling you what to do, would say, hey, put $100 in one account and just, this is going to be for the trades that you take. So you're learning, you don't really have the skill set yet, but you're going to get it, and that's exciting. So you take your account that has like $100, maybe $200 in it. You can even make it 200 and just do 5%. And that's for your trades that you're going to analyze and follow a consistent set of rules for multiple weeks in a row before you decide if it works or not. Because don't be, people lose in Forex because they never learn one thing. They're trying the new thing next week, the next week, the next week. So your job would be to stick to a set of rules for a solid two weeks to a month, 5% growth, and that would be for you. If you want to be part of the challenge, and like, also you can still do this with the signals too. When you get a signal in that group, you can do this. You can keep it very simple, slow, and steady. No stress, no problem. If you want to be part of the six-figure kind of group, you don't have to trade at this high of a percentage. But for us, for those of us who've kind of been on a lot of my night calls, they know exactly what I'm doing and what I have in mind. It's very high risk. Your chances of blowing a $100 account are high. I'm not going to like sugarcoat that for you because I don't want to lie. But the whole concept is a high leverage, okay? Yes, you're going for a lot of money, a lot of money. But as you guys can see, it doesn't take long. So even if, let's say, 10, 20 of the trades closed out with very minimal profit because we moved the stop loss up, you're still talking a couple of months that it took you to hit six figures. So the only problem is if you take losses in this area, so if you took 2 losses, you lose your account. You took 2 of these losses back to back on this area, yeah, you're done. These losses don't hurt near as much. You can handle this. These ones usually they hurt a lot. So it's just that's what it's for. If you think that sounds exciting and life changing to maybe make 6 figures in less than 3 months, then have at it. Come on, if you have the financial capacity to blow $100 a few times, maybe you buy too many Nikes or you spend too much at Starbucks like myself, then if not, no hard feelings, but don't come into this thinking that you're not going to blow an account, because this way blows accounts all the time.
Yeah, so I had a demo account last week. I started with 500. Overall, I won some trades and lost some trades, but overall made like $230.
That's
I was wanting to do that for like 3 or 4 weeks to get the hang of it, but then when I saw this, that it was only $69, I didn't know if it would be safe to do that or not.
Oh, I know. You're right. It's only 16. Thank you. So yes, it's $69. The signals and the tools and stuff are totally worth it. You would make that back. A lot of people would make that back in the first 2 days of signals, even with the loss. So you can still do that. Like, don't get discouraged. Like, you can still take all those signals and start to compound, start to grow it slowly. I would definitely recommend until you kind of have a better understanding of trading, 6 to 10%. I know it's exciting. It's not as fun. $60,000 is still worthwhile off of your account. So give it a go.
Right. Okay. I've got some more videos to watch, and I'm excited.
Awesome. I'm excited for you. Thank you so much for coming.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm new to the group. I just joined like 2 days ago.
Welcome to the family.
Good. Yeah, so I'm like totally confused what's going on because I'm like looking at the videos of the triple arrows. So should I, like, if I join this 6-figure group, should I have like 2 accounts? Or, because I don't even know how much leverage I have on my account right now. I have Trader's Way, and when you say 1,000 to 1, does that mean if my balance is 100, I have $1,000 equity? Does that what 1,000 to 1 mean?
I don't want to be the silly girl who gives you an inaccurate answer. So we're trading with leveraged money. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there that will break it down far better than I can. Like 1,000 times better than I can. Here's the deal. If you're trading with leveraged money, so if you have you have way more than $1,000 in leverage, believe it or not, like way more. I don't want to tell you the exact number, but you probably wouldn't believe me if I said it. But leveraged money allows you to trade more and have more room. The whole problem with trading with less leverage, your current broker should have 1,000 to 1 leverage. That's not my favorite broker. In fact, I'm my least favorite broker.
Which one?
Trader's Way.
Oh, so I shouldn't use them?
So if you like them, you should use them. That's a you thing. I'm not telling you otherwise. There are some people I know who do really well with them. I just did not have the same experience. So if you like them, you should continue to use them.
No, I just used them because that's what everybody else was using online. So like the people that I was following.
Well, my only understanding is that they have issues in terms of withdrawal, and that's kind of the biggest thing in the Forex market.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't had a problem. Well, but to the AAFX, I should use them? That's like the best one because I'm seeing that's what everyone in the group is using, I believe.
Message me, I'll send you my affiliate link. I think I've earned a total of almost $20 in several months.
Okay.
Credits. But you get slightly, it's cheaper than I get a few cents. So yeah. It is a good broker though. I just like them mostly for their leverage. I don't know that they're perfect in all fairness. I just know they have high leverage, and I just know that they have no problems with withdrawing. So that's the reason why I use them. That's the only reason why. I can't promise that they're great, like we're going to be perfect for anybody. That is it. Okay.
Okay. When you mean withdraw, you mean like, because I know for traders where you have to use like, the best way is probably like Bitcoin and things like that because they don't withdraw straight to your bank account. But back to the leverage, I'm a little confused on the 1001. What does that mean?
You gotta watch a YouTube video for that.
Yeah, watch it. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. And
I can explain it in an intelligent. The leverage basically allows you to utilize more money and to trade and advance quicker.
okay, but back to because since I just joined the group, so I don't know if should I focus on Uncle Pappy's system first and then join the six figure group, or can I do both at the same time, or
both at the same time? So I still highly recommend you watch trainings in the Google Drive. At least watch the first 4. It will take you less than an hour. Definitely do that. But you can totally join the six-figure group and then start taking the signals. Just don't take them at a super fast rate because you don't really know what's going on yet.
Okay. And then should I have 2 accounts? One just for the six-figure group, and then one like.
Do you know how to manage accounts? And it's okay if you have just honest answers.
I think managing meaning. You mean like pip sizes and things like that?
So basically, enter a trade, move a stop loss on a trade, exit a trade, and check on a trade.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, then have at it. Then get 2 small accounts going, and yes, you can totally do that. Do one that you're going to kind of compound according to the 6 figures, and you can do a smaller percentage, and then do one where you only trade at a very small percentage per day and go from there.
Okay. All right.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah. So I'll just do both.
Hey, Jeanette, did you get kicked out of the USD CAD?
Me, let's see. No, I didn't.
You still in it?
Yep, I'm in it. The trade I really wanted to call, I told you guys I was.
Or USD CAD, not GBP Aussie, USD.
I'm sorry?
USD CAD.
I'm still in both of those trades. See?
Well, I got kicked out.
You got kicked out. Where'd you put your stop loss?
55 pips.
When did you enter the trade?
When you were recommending it. What we're talking about?
What broker are you using?
AFFs.
If you entered when I entered, then there's no way.
That's what I'm looking at too myself. That's what I'm looking at right now. I know it's going down, but I don't know how he kicked me out. I'm like, okay. And I know I entered when you entered, and 55 pips or whatever. I know I did it right. And I'm looking at my demo account, but I'm still in my demo account. But I'm kicked out of my EFS account. It's funny. Yeah. Because I do both in my demo account and my real account.
Yep, exactly. Guys, these other trades that I was looking at already all moved. Every single one of them. GBP odd and GBP NZD. Both of them moved good. Really well. Let's see. It's also different trying to call trades live, and I wanted to make sure I answered all the questions. Every single thing that you guys could think of. It's very different mentally and emotionally. So, and that's what Pat and I and Elvis are really focusing on, to make sure you guys are getting the absolute best. Because I just want to make sure you guys get the best possible signals. No drama, no problems, no issues along the way. best possible case scenario. So GBP CAD, which is from the Signals Group, is in profit if you guys took that call. And somebody wanted to take a look at odd NZD. Is that person still on?
I'm right. Aussie New Zealand.
Yes, odd NZD. Yep.
Yeah. They call it for sale this morning, but that trade is pushing up so high. Made no sense.
Well, like I said, for when they called it, again, I wasn't awake for that time.
I entered immediately calling.
I'm sorry?
I was in it immediately calling. I mean, I look at it, it looked good to me, immediately calling, and I was in the trade. But then upset it just keep following me up.
Long-term trade, though. It was called for a long-term trade, not a short-term.
Yeah, I know.
Long-term.
So if the stop loss is above here, you're still safe, okay? Yes, it's still pushing higher highs, and that's really not that many pips away. So this isn't a fast mover, but this is meant to be a long-term trade. So is it a good sell potentially? Yeah. We had this huge big run. It's due a pullback. So even if it's not an actual reversal and only pulls back to like the 31.8, this is definitely worth give or take 100 pips. When it makes the 100 pip drop, we don't know. Okay? We don't know. There's no way to know. But is it quite ready yet? No. Are you already in it?
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I'm getting burned, I know, right?
Okay. I'm gonna have to move this over.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey.
How you doing?
Fantastic. Is this DJ?
No, this is Dorian. We sound the same.
Yeah, the same. Well, good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm alert because I'm on my supplements. Yeah, I was in the AUD NZD back on the 29th of August, and never lost sleep because I'm confident in the trade. I got in when Pat did, and right now I'm just was it 322 in the negative, but I know that it's going to break to the downside. And when in this type of situation, it's just the market makers, the banks. They're testing your patience, and they're seeing if you're going to crack. Because if you do, they're the ones that win. And I'm pretty stubborn and very patient, so I have no issue waiting. And I know this is a long-term trade; it's going to drop. But I was just going to mention to people, when you get the signal services, you don't have to take everyone. Don't feel pressured, and always trust your analysis. You know, because impatience is what's really going to kill your account.
That's right. I mean,
Right.
everyone's wondering about these signals, but the truth is, guys, we have to find a way to, I don't know, work together in a way that says we understand that they're coming from different places, from different things. I will only trade trades on this account that you guys know about. So if you guys want to see that we can get to six figures, I will only take trades on this very account. You guys can see the account number. Okay, so if I blow this account, you're going to know it. You're going to know it, and it'll be a public knowledge because everything I say and do is recorded in the court of law. Yay. Sorry, I'm joking. But this is meant to be fun. There's a lot of signals going to be coming out. Confirm them with what you do and go from there. So I wanted to enter GBP odd in this account with us this morning. We went with Euro GBP instead. That's okay. I took this trade in my other account, which I told you guys about an hour ago. And it is what it is. So we have to be able to have confidence. Dorian, I think, probably just maybe gave me a message, too, that I probably needed to hear. Because we're going to have faith in ourselves and faith in the system and faith in our analysis and not get freaked out either by the market makers and on NZD kind of just hanging out, which he just said he's been in that trade for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
it went as high as negative 500. But I never lost sleep. I slept like a baby, you know, because I trust in my analysis and I trust Pat's analysis as well. And I know.
How big is your account? If you don't mind saying publicly, it's okay.
It's about 1260.
Okay. So, guys, I called him out like that, not to make him, you know, be a spotlight or a center of attention, but to that most of us, once you get to that, you know, bigger range, you have more than 5,000 or 10,000 in there. most of us aren't like super freaking out. And that's a whole different level of trading. So when Dorian can tell you he goes to bed and he's negative $500, like that's a whole different level of trading. And I really hope that you guys can kind of grasp that as you're going along here. So
because before I joined Forex, I think I told you before, I used to trade on Thinkorswim's platform. And if it was NYSE, yeah, maybe I would be more nervous. But I had to learn how to trade against the trend, because for some reason with Thinkorswim, they didn't have enough stocks for me to short. So I got a lot of practice really scalping very quickly, pressing that flatten button to flatten out my trades. So my risk or my winning percentage at that time was around, I'd say 70-30, and I was building it up. And coming over to Forex, trading Forex, because it's a sideways market, makes it easier, to tell you the truth. I just don't lose any sleep over this.
that's awesome. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Because that's really all we're trying to do, guys, is just get you guys to a point where we understand things from a different way, and that you can, what's your accuracy now?
I have my stats on. I haven't lost anything yet. It says 100%.
I know you don't have 100%. Like, well, wait, how long have your stats been going?
How long?
I got it.
I think it's been probably what, a little over 2 months. 2 months, I think. Let me bring it up.
100%. That's impressive. Like, that's super.
Because I'm sorry. Like I said, if I'm in the, you're automatically going to be in the negative. I mean, I've had a swap fee, really that killed my profit, but I still profited in the positive. I ended up in a, I think it was that JPY pair, the one that I sent you that picture where I caught that spike.
Yep.
And then, yeah, it came down, and then it gradually climbed back up. And I was in the negative on that only because of the swap fee. And then turned around, I was back in the positive. And I was in the positive, I think probably a little over $1, but I wasn't going to get out of the trade unless I was in the positive. I don't care if it's 50 cents. As long as I'm in the green, I'll get out. I don't want to get out while I'm in the negative, because that means that I lost and they won.
Okay, so what time frame are your? That's awesome.
I believe that one was on, I believe that was on a 1 hour. That's when I first got started too. And then everything else has been on the 4 hour. I don't do the 1 hour. I only took it, I think Pat was in it too, and he did it on the 1 hour. So I thought, okay, I'll just go ahead and follow his example. But I learned my lesson though, Jenny. Once it spiked, it's got to come back down. It has to rest. And that's what it did. I was positive 500, and then it kind of took that back when it gradually climbed. So I learned, especially with slow moving pairs, just get your money and get out. You know, if it spikes like that, yeah, you could write it back down, but it's best to get out.
Well, that's awesome. That's definitely awesome. Hey guys, I'm gonna enter one extra trade. As you guys can see, I'm still in the same margin percentage. This is the one I really wanted to enter to begin with. I'm gonna enter it at a 0.05. I know so not to be more than 2 trades at a time, but this is the better trade anyhow. So, and that's it. I definitely can't hold any more than that and be a bad influence to you guys. Again, this is the same account. You guys will all know because it's all that stuff is recorded. If we're going for about 55 pips, okay, that's where I'm gonna have my take profit. So my take profit will be, just so you guys can know, that's 55 pips. I'll write it in the chat too. But there's too many signals in that chat already. So how many pips is this? Girl. We want to keep it at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, give or take. So I'm going to have to move that out of the way so I can see. So this stop loss would be somewhere in and around 8007, so 1.8007, and take profit would be 1.81131. I entered this trade back here on my other account, but this trade is going to move heavily. Doesn't mean it might not pull back, and doesn't mean we can't be wrong, because we totally can be wrong. It can happen every day. But this trade is valid according to all rules, okay? It is in the same direction as the triple arrows. Definitely momentum above the 50. We're fanning out in terms of our EAs. We have 2 arrows on our side on the 1 hour. We're good to go. So that gives us 3 trades to hold and to make sure that they go the way we need them to go. There is USD news, which is kind of unattractive, but we shall see. As soon as you're in profit, make sure you guys move your stop loss into profit, okay? That's the 100% always, always, always thing to do. No matter what it is, your job is to break even, like Dorian just said. If you have a 100% ratio, I want to see it, because I know mine's really high, and I'm struggling to get mine from that 97 to 98. Dorian, are you there? Dorian, peekaboo.
I'm here.
I'm like, if you have a 100% ratio, I want to see it.
Okay.
I'll show you mine. Like, because I'm struggling, but then again, my accounts are years old. So for me to have a 98% ratio in a 2-year-old account, that's pretty bomb, because that's got history. I mean, so I'm really struggling to get mine from that 97% to 98. But it takes a long time to get 1% of a difference in a 2-year-old account, just so you know.
Okay.
That's awesome. Way to go, though.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Hey, Jenny, this is Stanley.
Hey, Stanley, how are you?
I'm wonderful. You just called my name, moving your stop loss into profit. I asked you that question last night.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm like, did I really?
Just now, you said be sure to move your stop loss into profit.
So I'm trading, this is the first call. We're just kind of keeping it super casual because we wanted everybody to see kind of what to expect and what's going on. So here's the deal. We're currently in this trade. It's not in profit yet. Let's use USD CAD as an example, because I took this. Who's drawing on my screen? Who's doing that? Let's see. No, it's not. Hold on. And it's me. Here. I cleared it all. Clear. That's weird. Okay.
Hey, Jenny, can you mute everybody except Stanley?
Uh-huh. Let me see.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Manage. I'm going to mute all. Okay, Stanley, can you unmute?
I'm unmuted. Oh, you did me again. Hang on. I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Breeze, it started clicking. Me and Thomas hooked up.
Jenny, mute everybody.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
Can you hear me?
Right. It started slow.
I picked up
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
What was that?
City, I had and I'm like, man, this guy is, you know, Patrick Mahomes. Goes down and like, you know, we're gonna miss. I look at Sammy Watkins Bounce up from that.
Wow. Okay, that was interesting. That was a bit intense. Like, I couldn't unmute you guys. I couldn't remute you guys. I'm sorry. That sounded tragic. Oh, okay. So, Stanley, now are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
There we go. But you can you? I think that was you who's kind of having the echo. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Yes. Moving your stop loss into profit.
Okay, so can you see my screen? Because something.
Yes, I can.
What can you see on my screen? Because it's weird.
One
screen? Like, can you see?
Yeah, you're moving your cursor around. I can't see what.
Can you see one MT4 or 4 MT4s?
I can see one MT4.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to take it.
Okay, now I see the trade plan.
That's really weird. Okay. But you can see this MT4 right now, right?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay. Because now it's not on my VPS again. I don't know why. Something went super crazy right there. But here we go. So we're looking at USD CAD. We knew it was going to pull back. That's what impatience gets you. Impatience get you. We knew it was going to pull back to some extent. It's exactly what it did. But if we had taken this trade right here, and we were in profit, okay, what we would do is, this is our entry. All we're going to do is drag our stop loss, okay, with us. Do you see what I'm doing? Do you
Yes, I know how to do that. Where to drag it is my confusion.
And that's the thing. So you can write this down, and I'm going to say it again, but here's the deal. I can't decide that for you. So let's go to this image real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to USD. Let's go to USD Chef. There we go. Okay. This pair moves how much per day?
62.
On average, 62 pips. Now, let's go to GBP NZD. This pair moves how much per day?
221.
So the reason why I'm not trying to dishonor you, but I can't give you an answer is because that's a wild difference, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so either way, like if I told you once you were 20 pips in profit and then move your stop loss up, that's not going to work primarily because why? Because on this pair, that may barely be enough, but on USD Chef, that might be way too much, right?
Yes.
So here's the thing. My style of trading is very simple. When I am in profit, I move my stop loss up to break even. By how much, I don't know. Every pair is a little bit different. So a GBP pair needs more room to breathe. USD Chef or some of the slower moving pairs need less room to breathe. But my bottom line is, my rule of thumb is, if I am in profit, I move my stop to break even, or I move it a few pips into profit. As price continues to go in my favor, I continue to do the same thing. That's it. Like, that's super it.
Okay, and I took the gold trade that Pat sent out. Was it Sunday? I think Monday. And I did drag it just below where the profit was, and that worked. And then I dragged it some more, but I think I took it past where it was, where the entry was, and then it kicked me out of the trade. So
okay,
I was just curious, but I understand what you're saying.
The option would be to right click, and then you can click on your active trade. So let's go to USD CAD. Okay. So I can right click on this trade itself, or on the open trade down there.
Mm-hmm.
So go to modify. I can literally say, okay, I want a 60 pip stop loss, and then it'll enter it for me, and a 50 pip take profit, it'll enter it for me. Does that make sense?
Yes. And you put the extra 0. Yeah.
It'll do it naturally. Another option would be to right click and modify. So like I can really say, okay, well, it's not going to work on this screen. So let's go to the next screen. There we go. So if I right click where it says price, I can modify this order. Of course, it's not going to let me. Why won't it let me? Oh, right here, just type it in. So if I know that I want to save, let's say 10 pips and I'm up 3 pips, I would just do the math. So I have to change it to whatever it needs to be. And I can type in where I want it to be.
Yes.
I can even close out some of the position. So you can do it whatever way you want. But it's just a matter of always, always, always protecting your profits. Don't let the market take stuff from you. That's all.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you.
You are welcome. Sorry about all that noise, guys. I unmuted to remute, and then all of a sudden I couldn't remute. I was like, wow, that sounds like you're reading
Hello,
it.
Miss Jenny.
Go ahead.
Good morning. Yesterday I got a stop loss. I typed in a group for gold and another pair also. Both pairs are I got the stop loss because I didn't move a stop loss in the profit.
Okay, gotcha. I think, yeah, I remember talking to you, and I was wrong, so I apologize. It does happen. I am human. After I went on a meeting with somebody, this trade that was sent out did lose. So one of the trades that were sent out did lose. But on gold, for example, I don't want to tell you whose call was whose. I'm pretty sure y'all will figure it out. This one was sent during London. This trade was up 50 pips in profit before it closed. So if you were in profit, your job is to drag and drop your profit or just edit it. Okay, so move your stop loss up to protect your pips. Does that make sense?
Yes. That ADR values, it's showing in our screen ADR values. How I can get this indicator? I don't have this indicator. Depending upon this indicator value, I can put a trailing stop loss. How I can put with the ADR values?
Oh, okay. So this is called the bar alert, and I had asked Pat to post that on the website. I'm pretty sure he got that taken care of, but in all fairness, he's had quite a bit going on. So if you don't have it, drop me a message and I will get it to you. Otherwise, it's in the super easy notification channel, which is the best and most effective way to get that indicator.
Okay. Using with the ADR values, how I can put a trailing stop loss? I mean, how much? How I can see the ADR value and how I can put the, depending upon this value, how I can put the trailing stop loss. For example, it's gold. Its ADR value for 1 week, it's showing a 2612.
Okay, let's get off of gold because gold moves a lot. So let's go to a regular pair. Let's just say GBP odd. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. So we're currently on this pair. This one has an ADR, an average daily range that it moves of approximately 180. Let's just round our numbers. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I gotta sneeze. Hold on. If I were to decide my trailing stop, sorry. If I were to decide my trailing stop, it wouldn't be based off of this. My take profit and my stop loss would be set off of this primarily. But I would right click on here. Okay, I can apply trailing stop, right? I'm gonna go to custom. This is a faster moving pair. So on this one, I want a 30 pip trailing stop. I always have to add a 0 because this is measured in points and not pips.
Okay.
Okay, so I click OK.
So how you decide the 30 pips, because ADR value is showing a 186.
That's how much it moves on average per day.
Average 186 divided by 7. Sorry, 6.
Oh, you're looking for like some kind of mathematical answer. No, I don't have that. Sorry. So look, if this is a fast mover, I'm going to give the pair 30 to 40 pips to move. I can't swing trade on this primarily because like, you have to think that there's too many people sending out too many signals. So if I send you guys swing signals, you can't enter that many trades. So since we're not going for swing signals, we're only doing intraday signals. The whole concept is, like, if this has a high ADR, you're going to be going for more pips. If this has a low ADR, you're going to go for less pips. If this is huge, you know, you can have a 30 or 40 pip trailing stop. If this is a smaller number, you can have a 15 or 20 pip trailing stop.
Okay. Oh, okay. I understand now. Depending upon the value, if it is increasing more, we can put a minimum stop, trailing stop, like a 20, 30. If it is going a 60, 50 ADR value, we can put a 50 trading stop loss. Is it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyhow, today I took a gold trade and I moving at trailing stop loss with randomly. I don't know how, but I profit $5 in the profit. Thank you.
Way to go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
And one more question, Miss Jenny.
Okay, there's a couple people speaking up. We'll take the one who said Miss Jenny first.
Yeah, well, it was just to answer his question. It's not 6 days a week, it's actually 5 days. Because when the Orient trading starts, it's actually started on day one. When we think it's starting on Sunday, it's really not. It's actually starting Monday morning. So if you wanted to take that, you can divide it by 5. I would not advise you to divide it by 6 if you want to try to do a mathematical equation on the ADR numbers.
No,
So
no, guys. This is the average that is divided. That's already done. That math is done. So, well, I'm going to go to a different pair just to have a fresh set of eyes real quick. Sorry. So this average daily range is 52 pips per day. That is already averaged. So we don't need to divide that by 5. The average daily range is 52. So no dividing. But you're right to say that it's only 5 days a week because this is based off of dividing by 5. But it's already divided. So on average, every day per week, in the last week, we've moved 52 pips per day. On average, every day a week for the last 4 weeks, already the math is done, it's 53 pips per day. On average, for the last 12 weeks, 5 days a week, math has already been done, it's 51 pips per day. So this is already done.
Okay, I understand now. Yes.
Can I chime in on that, Jenny?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. The ADR, okay, ADR. If it pairs trending, instead of trending up, right? And the average daily of that pair, if ADR is a day, then that means you still have more room for that pair to move up to reach the average daily movement. Mind you, you still have pullback. Mind you, the pair may pull back, but it still has room to go in the direction if it's trending. That's where your stop loss, like you understand, like some people try to say, well, I'm gonna put my stop loss 30 pips away. You still have to account for the spread and all that. And you know, I know a lot of people kind of get confused of placing their stop loss in place. Majority of the time when I place my stop loss, I'll place my stop loss at least the last I know that that's getting taken out. I have to recalculate my re-entry back into the market, because if the ADR has not been reached for that day in the uptrend, then I have more room for the ADR to complete itself. That's where the market maker, I know everybody said the market maker move, whatever, but that's what the market maker at. A lot of ADR can be calculated. If you stack 52 on 52 and stop 52, then the ADR for that week, those pairs have to move in that direction if it's trended up or down. Also, only the ADR is for. It's to show you how much more room you have left in that pair. What Jen is trying to convey over to you, that you can put your stop loss in at least 30 pips below once you are in profit, because it still has room to move in the direction that you analyze that pair to move into. If that makes sense.
It does, yeah, exactly. So that does make sense. I mean, And that's actually probably pretty well said, because all we're trying to do is figure out how much more room it has to move on average, especially since most of us are New York traders. So that's kind of is more relevant in New York than it is in other times, just so you guys know.
That's the concept.
I'm sorry.
Right, that's the only concept like a lot of new traders have to get down. I'm saying that's a concept a lot of new traders have to get down. They're looking at the ADR, like I can say the trust can't set the count of your spread. All that. So when you put a trust stop in, your spread might open up and it still may take you out. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to monitor where your ADR is. If it's another ADR that's on the internet that I have, and when your ADR is met, it turns red. So it gives you an indication. Okay, the ADR for the day has been met. Now I'm looking for this pair to pull back because it has to give itself a sign. That pair has to give it some type of room to breathe. You know what I'm saying? So if that pair pulls back, then you have okay, I need to get out this trade, or I can hold on just to see if it pulls back and then push forward for the next following day.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. So okay, I just want to add that 2 cents in. So.
Yeah, no problem. So do you mean this one, the average daily high and low, that turns red?
Yeah, the markers, yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep, gotcha. Cool, no problem. All right, any other questions, comments, or I really just wanted to jump on because there were still too many people who were unclear on the six-figure calls, challenges, signals, everything else.
I had a technical question in reference to the Renko MACD.
This one right here.
Yeah, can you kind of just explain this briefly? And I do apologize, I didn't mean to say divide the ADR by 5. I meant to say it was already divided by 5. So my apologies, Jen.
No, it's okay. Trust me, no hard feelings. I say stuff all the time, and I'd rather be corrected and help people understand than let people walk around being wrong. So, so this right here, I don't know a whole bunch. I'm only a few weeks into using it. Obviously, it was another thing that we kind of sent. Just to give you a background, I love Renko bars. I think Renko bars are probably one of the most advantageous things to use, except for one very, very important thing, which is that they're not live charts, are they? They're dead charts. So, so having said that, this I found to be pretty awesome because it's obviously moving live with price, which is pretty important. And I love Renkos in theory. I just didn't love that they're not live. So I noticed that a lot of times when this crosses over this, what we would call the zero line, it's the same times we get the crossover on the MACD. And it kind of just tells us in a different way than the MACD. So I don't know how I feel about it exactly. I think a lot of people are loving it. This right here is choppy, but then again, so is this. So I do like it so far. I like it for the fact that this is more clear than, say, this right here, we wouldn't be sure yet. Whereas on this signal service, we would be sure. So I kind of like it in that way. So it's just based off of Renko bars. There's no fancy algorithm or anything. It's based off of Renko alone. So.
Hey, Jenny, can you hear me?
Perfect, thank you.
Hey, DJ, how's it going?
Good, how are you? Can you hear me fine?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to add on to the Renko maker. I actually found out that if you just went off the arrows on the 1 hour on the Renko and then you drop down to the 15-minute, it's usually a pretty good setup for an hour later when you do it like that too.
I do like that. I have the arrows alone, the fact that it crosses the zero is perfect. It really is perfect. I mean, it has to line up with all the rest of my rules, obviously, which, as you guys know, I'm kind of big on. But I've never tried dropping down to the 15-minute time frame. Do you use the arrows when you see that?
Yeah, but as soon as you drop down to the 15-minute, usually the triple arrows for the now later are either present or they're just about to pop up.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Jenny.
Hey, who's this?
Hi. So I got a question about that Renko maker confirmation. Is that in the room? Can we grab that?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. I wanted to tell you thank you so much. I'm in a hotel trying to get packed. I would have jumped in and on some things, but I was listening and great information today. Thank you.
No, thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, just trying to get packed, and next time, hopefully I'll be able to chime in more. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, boss man. What's your name?
Oh, I didn't know. I need to change that, right?
Yeah, that's another reason why we kind of just did a regular something is because we don't have the moderator up. They're going to be checking the Zooms and everything.
How do you change that? Go back into your.
Somebody told me you can right click on your name and that'll work.
Oh, okay. Like right now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You sure can. Okay. I want to ask you about your moving averages. I'm setting up a new chart and I want to set it up basically like you have it.
Gotcha. Oh, that's 8, 18, and 50, all EMAs.
Okay, 8, 18, and 50.
Yep, all EMAs.
Okay, now I was watching one of your videos and you had when you was in the trade and you was telling us basically how long you should hold that trade and you go by off of the moving averages. Can you just go over that just for a hot second with me?
Yes. So somebody said something about the 1 minute odd NCD, so I was trying to click on that. But I'm going to go back to this. Here's the deal. So let's say, obviously it's not ready here, but let's say we called a sell signal here. And let's say you didn't know you wanted to exit, or maybe you were sleeping during this time. This is all hypothetical, obviously, and so the only thing we can go off of. But you can stay in this trade provided the candles stay below the 8 as a sell. So technically, you could stay in this trade, stay in this trade, stay in this trade until here.
Okay.
The price closes, which means potentially this is a slow mover, so really bad example, but you got a very safe 30 pips and you didn't have to fuss or worry. If you're wondering on how to stay in a trade, so let's click on a different pair. Let's go to GBP CAD. That's a real signal that was really sent out in the group. So this was sent out as a buy. How long can you stay in this trade provided you're not over leveraged or having an issue? You can stay in this trade, okay, until price closes on the other side of this 8 moving average.
Okay.
Which it's going to be a little bit intense at first. This is obviously a better example. Hindsight always is a better example. But if we had called out a sell based off of enough of our rules lining up here, and 8 and 18 cross, daily, we have 2 arrows, ADX, MACD, filter, whatever. And let's say we entered late, we entered here. In a pullback, that would have been bad, but you want to know how long you can stay in this trade or if you can hold it. Because those are the kinds of questions people ask when you give out signals is, can I hold it? Can I enter? Can I re-enter? Yes, you can re-enter. Notice how price pulled back and then it stayed below the 8. Yes, you can re-enter. It broke a new fractal level. So yes, you can do that all the way down to here, potential 150 pips up to 90 pips, right?
Okay. So that's the 18 and the 8.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you said exponential?
Exponential, yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Hey, do I need to put my last name in there?
You really should do something that's going to make you, I don't know. All this is kind of crazy right now. So you should have your name labeled. Whatever you're registered on is supereasy.com. Make sure your name is registered.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Jenny, good morning, Jenny.
Good morning.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for taking your time to explain a lot with a lot of patience. Much appreciated. I'm pretty sure I'm not repeating the question. Somebody must have already asked. There's a lot of chances, but I don't think so. On the Renko Maker, what I noticed was it actually gives an arrow and the curve of up or down little quicker than the MACD. One was that. How do we correlate that with the currency relative strength that you have?
Well, my first question, do you have this version or the other version?
I don't have this one. I'm just seeing it on yours, and I'm probably going to request that from you. So that's the answer for that.
Okay, gotcha. So this version was a free version, but now it's no longer free. So having said that, how do I correlate?
Yes.
All I do is I'm looking for pieces of evidence, right? So I'm counting, literally counting from 1 to 20 or whatever my setup is. I'm just counting. That's all I'm doing. So how I confirm this is going to give me a more clear signal versus like, let's go to a better example because we got to try to find one. Right here, we have a clean cross of the 0, which is clearly more confirmation than just a crossover. Okay. So I still like this for the value of what this is, and I've had a lot of experience in trading with it. But when they line up, now you have more confluence, which this is my messy chart. This is my super full, very, very messy chart. I get it. There's a lot on here. But that confirmation means you're very, very, very rarely wrong.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So I just think it's a piece of evidence, so why not? I do kind of like the way it correlates with MACD. I don't know enough to say exactly how, but I do like the way.
Okay.
Freezing.
My other clarification is, I remember you saying this is not scalping and you don't like scalping, and neither me. So if we get a signal, I can see that there is a stop loss as well as a take profit. Generally, would we say about 50 pips, 60 pips? What will be an average move on those signals approximately?
Anywhere from maybe we're going for at least 20 or 30 pips to swing trades, which are hundreds of pips. Anywhere in that range is fine.
Will the signals mention that it's a swing trade?
We're working on that. Everyone is really, really having stuff to say. We're working on that. Okay.
Okay. Now, this is my last question. I'm not going to take all your time too. If we see a signal ourselves and not without the TAs or anything, just with the naked eye, we see, yes, it is a good movement. It's going to go up. What will be a safe pip quantity? Say 20 pips, 25 pips, 30 pips to take a trade. I know it is a very relative question. Just with your experience, what would you say?
20 pips.
Thank you, dear.
That's also very different because some pairs 20 pips is pushing it, you know. So if you want a super safe one, 20 pips.
Okay.
When we talk about the word safe is different because safe on a GBP pair, 20 pips is not safe on a GBP pair. 20 pips is very risky because it can wick that way in a second.
Okay. All right. Yeah, got you. Where can I get this relative strength, the one that you're saying it is not free anymore?
This is called the currency relative strength, and it's on Marketplace.
Okay.
It was free when I first told the group about it, but now it's not free because, well, I think that once they had enough downloads that they turned it to where it wasn't free. But either way, they do have another version that's called Absolute Currency Strength Indicator. It's one of my favorite ones, and it's the one that made the biggest difference in my trading. So it is messier and harder to read, but I highly recommend it anyway. Just so you know, it's called the Absolute Currency Strength Indicator.
Absolute Currency Strength Indicator. Thank you very much, Jenny. You have a fantastic day. Thanks for your time. Much appreciated.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, how's it going?
I'm good. I just had a question about your stop loss and take profit for GBP on. If you could just go over that one more time, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Let's see. So I know we pulled back pretty hard on the GBP pairs. Let's see. There we go. So I put my stop loss, and you can kind of, sorry, I wanted to load. Nope, it won't go there. So I'll have to make it smaller. So I put my stop loss below this this high right here, right? We want it to be at least a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. That's what we're really looking at. So anywhere in this area, so where my current stop loss is, exactly in pips, you want to know like where it's at in terms of the pips. 1.8004. Okay. And then the take profit is 1.8113. So what that equals in terms of pips, it should be approximately a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. 56 pips, give or take. And again, similar concept. So this is looking like it's pulling back way too much.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. So that's why I wanted to make sure my stop loss was in and around the same area as yours.
No, let's see. So we have a 55 pip take profit. Let's take a look. As long as we have a 1-to-1, we can afford losses. We can afford good days and bad. If our take profit is 58-ish pips, we want this to be 58. Oh, the spread. I was like, wait a minute. Why is that different then?
Are you on AAFX or Hugo's Way?
I'm on AAFX.
Okay, so my spread is the same as yours.
Yep. So you guys will notice that like when I drag and drop this, this is saying, for example, 65 pips, right? As you guys can see when you drag and drop it. But this is kind of the reality of trading. Oopsie. So if I measure that distance, same distance, I'm only measuring like 55 pips. So it's a pretty big difference in terms of what you guys are considering, because you have to consider that spread. So anywhere in that pimp range, it's fine. Worst case, this is going to come back down anywhere in this area, and then it's going to shoot up, which is awful.
Mm-hmm.
Not fun at all.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hey,
If I
Jenny?
modify that, I'll put that in the group. I mean, because this is, I mean, we have to do something consistent, and that's a very difficult thing to do in a big group of people like this. So we'll see. Because I know how I would manage this trade, but to do that in a public group without confusing 1,000 people is difficult.
So would you just wait for it to hit your stop loss and just call it a day and then move on to the next one? Or would you kind of close it out since you know it's pulling out? I mean, sorry, it's pulling back.
If it were me trading, aside from, if it were me and I wasn't on this live call, my stop loss would be much larger than this. If it was me on this live call, this is what I would do. Okay. I have plenty of room. Like, so this could be called a lot of different patterns depending on where we're looking. I'd have my stop loss somewhere in and around here, this previous low. Because if it breaks this low, the trade is going to go back, right? If it was me and I was not on this call and I was just trading my way for like a 1-hour trade, I had enough confirmations to enter it. Let's see. I would still stick to my whole 1-to-1 concept. Hold on, sorry about that. It will let me move it. Come on, silly butt. I would still stick to like that 1-to-1 concept. And I would have it somewhere in and around here. That's 170 pips. I'd put on here a trailing stop. I also have managers that do my trailing stops for me of about 55 pips, okay? And then I would walk away. If when I was done working for the day, I saw that I was in profit, I would drag and drop my stop loss up in a profit, just a barely, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is how I would manage this trade. Because I'm pretty confident like that this is going to buy. It doesn't mean you can't hold around this area for a while and just be a pain in the butt to everybody because it totally can. So what I would see and how I would do this is the bare minimum of that. So this is a huge stop loss. So that's huge. Most people can't handle that. And again,
Is it because of the size of your account that you're only going to go with 55 versus what you're at right now for stop loss?
Because of the challenge.
Okay.
That's the reason why. So, and I am doing my best to kind of stay on course in terms of what our original settings and our purpose was. I was taught at a young age to keep the main thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The main thing is my goal is to help you guys hit 6 figures. If some of you only need 5 figures, that's where I want to help you do. So I want to help you hit 6 figures. And that might mean we have to follow rules that everyone can follow because a lot of people don't follow rules. So we can handle this one trade. I think the other two are kind of moving. Hold on, let's find out.
They're in the profit, the USD CAD. I didn't take the other one though.
You guys had a better entry on that. So can we hold that and handle it? And with enough leverage, yeah, we can. You totally can. If you're smart and you don't like go chasing the next 5 trades that come out. Because that one
Right.
might end up holding. And that's just the reality of it. So what you choose to do is totally up to you. As long as you're using good risk management, I don't mind. Because you could stack this one trade to your first 10 grand. Like, that's how sure I am of it. It doesn't mean it's not going to play with us and we'd have to trade down. But I don't know. I trade very differently, and I'm not afraid to take a risk. So to be safe for everybody on the call, I have to do something that's consistent and manageable. Whereas, like, let's take a look at the USD CAD. That's a very safe and easy to trade pair. It's not going to, there's a 0% chance of this pair blowing your account, basically.
Okay.
It's not gonna happen. Well, it could if you did super crazy things, but this pair is not going to blow your account because it's nice and gentle. So, whereas a GBP pair can definitely blow an account. So,
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Steve-O.
Hey, I just had a quick question, and you may have already answered it, but would there be a way that we can tell who's sending what signals?
No. We've decided between the 3 of us that the best case scenario is to keep it super simple. And that means to send out the signal. Your guys' job is to analyze it because it really takes the blame factor out of it. Your guys' job is to know if it matches your rules or not. Your guys' job is to analyze it according to your own strategies, your own charts, and to decide to take the entry. Signals, I mean, for us to find the winning trade is easy. But signals are only going to be as good as your ability to manage them, number one. And try to understand, Pat did signals before, and he did really well with them. Like, he had a couple rough weeks in between, like, I don't know, 5 months. But the amount of backlash in 2 or 3 bad weeks is heart-wrenching. I don't know how to say that in any other language or any other way than to say it's a lot. And, like, he just wanted to help everyone succeed, just to give you an idea of where he was coming from. So in terms of the signals, it's a whole bunch. Now, if we're pretty confident that we can, are very, very 99% of the time offer you guys, 90% signals or better. Some weeks are we going to hit like a really rough week where we hit 80%? Probably. That's going to happen. Absolutely. But if we can do that and there's no blame and there's no drama and there's no, well, he said, she said, your job is to take that signal as a trade idea, compare it against your rules. And if you're doing my, Jenny's whole 6-figure compounding plan, great, then compound it accordingly. Then next trade is the next lot size. Next trade is the next lot size that matches your account. Make sense?
Oh, I follow you. Thank you.
I hope that helps. I don't know if you were still around for his last signals, were you?
I've been on the road lately, so.
Gotcha. Well, I know a lot of us were still part of the group for his signals last time, and it was awesome. And an NFP week and a couple other things, like that was enough to, it's heart-wrenching to see people go absolutely crazy. So if we're going to continue doing signals, I think as a team we need to mature. As a family we need to mature and be able to say, hey, we're looking at this signal, and here's what we're seeing. And if you guys don't see it, you don't think it's ready yet, wait. Like, I don't think odd NZD is ready yet. Great. I want to see some confirmation. But like Dorian said, he's been holding that for weeks, and he's totally happy. It comes down to your maturity and ability to take a trade and analyze a trade and manage it. So.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other questions, comments, etc.? Anybody else?
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful.
Can you look at the EUR GBP again? Just to see what is happening. I got in late.
So, yeah, and Deja just said in the group that she flipped a couple of accounts from those signals. So, honestly, yeah, I think that there are other people other than me who can say that they were really good. But, man, it's hard mentally and emotionally to call out signals. It changes the game quite a bit. So, we're hitting some consolidation, but like I said, we hit a lower low. We can't guarantee what this does. Again, the best part about this is it's a smooth mover. So, you're not going to blow your account with this pair. It's going to move so slow, it'll annoy you to death. But we do think that it's dropping.
Okay.
Because come on, count them up. Like, what do we see? I know that's very messy, but if we just real quick, this market is doing what? It's going
down.
Okay, very simple. I'm going to zoom back in, come back over. Okay, this is on the 1 hour chart. We're below the 50, so that's confirmation of a sell. We have a fresh 8 and 18 crossover, confirmation of a sell. Momentum is up, and sellers in control. We even retested the 0 and crossover on the MACD. We have a sell on this, the profit filter extreme, sell on this, and of course GBP is stronger. It doesn't mean it's not going to play around a little bit. It definitely is. It's going to play around. So,
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Thank you.
You are welcome. Yes. Awesome. Any other? Yep.
Yeah, I just want to give an opinion, if I may.
Hey, David. I'm sorry.
Hey, morning, Jenny. Yeah, it's me. I was just thinking that the way I learn, the way a lot of people learn, is by just following somebody's example. I was hoping it would have been like that. Like if you say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, here are my trades, then I can look and say, why did she take that? Because remember, I mean, the thought was that, okay, we're going to blow a few accounts, we're going to do it together. But it's kind of like, feels like it's more going to be on us. It's kind of not like what I expected at the beginning. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that it kind of changes things a little bit from what I anticipated at the beginning.
I understand.
An opinion.
I know, it's okay. Like, I understand what you're saying. And what I just really want you guys to understand is this. Pat is still going to do live calls. So you're going to see what he's looking at and why he takes the trade. I am going to do live calls with live trading now, because I'm not just going to do it at night. And you're going to see why I took the trade. And then you're going to see some trades lose. You're going to see a trade that says, well, Jenny just shut up. She learned to be quiet. She shut up and she just held that trade. And then you're going to be able to like understand it mentally and emotionally better. So you're still going to have access to that. But the first thing we have to address are the signals group. So the signals group are meant for you guys to analyze the trade and decide if you want to enter it. So the 6-figure challenge, the calls with me, the dashboard, the calls with Pat, that is all still going to be what we think it's going to be. It's taking time for us to get there. And in the meantime, people didn't know what to do with the signals. In the meantime, people didn't know what to do with really anything, right? Like they're super confused. They're super turned off. They had all these signals. A lot of people won with them. Some of them only went for 10 pips, and they won every trade. I don't know how they won on that Euro GBP, but they did win every trade. So they're super happy. That's great. But I just need you guys to understand how we're using the signals. And then I'd like you to jump on these calls when you're available so you can see, here's what we're doing, here's why we're doing it, and we're going to be brave and we're going to be okay with it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's all we can offer, because this has to apply to the person who's been trading for 2 weeks. It has to apply to the person who's been trading for 2 years. It has to be understandable for every level of people. So that's why we have to try to make it apply to everyone. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I've had a lot of frustration in trying to get the hang of it, but I like the way you go about things, and I like your confidence, and I feel like if I can get the hang of what you're doing, I can make it. You know. So anyway, that's my own approach. I feel like I learned from watching somebody and seeing what they're doing, but your explanation makes it a little easier for me to grasp what is happening. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Just bear with us. I think it'll be great. I think that we're going to do awesome. It's just going to take some time to get the system where we need it to be, to people understand what to do with the signals, and they understand how to compound, and then we can just do it together. That's all.
All right. Blessings.
Thank you.
Hey, Jenny, this is Stanley.
Stanley.
Yes, can you look at card JPY?
Are you the one who messaged me that pair?
No, this is one we got earlier today.
Okay, so I just want to go over that real quickly, and because my job is going to be to analyze these trades with you, I can only tell you what I don't see. I don't see this selling. Do you agree? So somebody said, okay, there's a daily dot. They were trying to learn the daily dots. I'm going to refresh just to make sure we have the dots where they go. Check, 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 right? Are you there? So I can't tell you exactly what was going on in terms of this signal, but I can tell you for a now and later, I'm sure it worked great because we did have that perfect pullback. But as of right now, everything is pointing up. So we're still on top of the 8 and the 18 on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, actually. We're still on top of the 50. We don't have enough confirmation yet to truly, truly sell off. And that's where all this stuff comes into play. So even on our Renko bar, we still just aren't quite there. Just out of curiosity, I'm kind of curious. That's weird. Well, I can't see a purple arrow if there is one. See, we still haven't got that purple arrow down yet. We're still not below the 0. Our momentum line is kind of looking like it's trying to break the 25. So I just don't see this as ready just yet because CAD is strong and JPY is weak. Do I think this is on my list to sell soon? Yes, it is. But it's just not ready today as of right now. It may have been ready for like a quick pips or whatever now and later, but as of New York session right now, this is not ready. Make sense?
And Jenny, can you tell me the stop loss of JBBAUD?
I'm sorry?
Can you go one more time for JBBAUD for the stop loss?
Oh yeah, I just moved it though, so I don't know where it was. The stop loss was in and around this area, so say 0.8. What do we say? 0.80003, 0.80004, something like that. Is that what we said? And then I moved it down. I moved it huge. That's what we did.
I can tell you what the stop loss is if you want. I wrote it down.
What it was it before I moved it, so I can.
Yeah. Okay, so the stop loss is 80004, and then your take profit is 81113.
Okay, thank you.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, that's it. So, all right, next question.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Todd. Is it Todd?
It was Lawrence.
Somebody speaking?
Lawrence.
Oh, hey, Lawrence. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Wonderful.
All right. Just got a couple of questions. Like on your live calls, we're going to be able to see why you're making a call on a trade, you know, so we could, if we want to just learn. Am I hearing correct? You said that?
Yes.
And then secondly, on that CAD JPY, I think what happened was when it was called, there was a triple arrow on the 15-minute. It had a triple arrow sell, and I think that's just what we saw at the time. So on when that call was made during the London session.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, according to right now, it's just not ready for a sell.
Yeah, I agree. I feel you know. Okay, so thanks. And then in general, it'll just be Tuesdays and Thursdays when you do your live session calls.
Yeah, I might hop on Wednesdays or like some afternoons and stuff. I'm gonna try to hit all people, but the first thing is we need everyone to be in and where they need to be and understand how to take the signals. Because if you guys don't understand the signals, there's nothing we can do in my class that's going to be any better. Does that make sense? So like you guys have to be able to take the signals effectively and manage them effectively. And then when we're in my class, I promise we can go to a whole nother level. Because if it were me, I'd max out your margin. Like I'd max it out and we'd be going for the gold. Like if it was just
the fucking call that I took last night was shit.
Wow, who's this? There's a guy who's got a mouth. Who's that? Okay.
Ms. Jenny, actually, we are many people are working professionals, and we are we are believing the signal services, but now you are analyzing is explaining there is no ready for sale CAT JPY, but the many peoples we took and we believe the signal services. Now it's going to last. It's not good service, I think. It's not a good way. If it is confirmed and analyzed signal, then only if you release, then the people's okay.
Can I chime in on that, Jenny?
Yeah, go ahead.
I chime in. Can I please? Okay. Okay. Coming from, okay, I've been trading for like 7 years now, right? Let me get background. 7 years, got money in oil long time ago. So I've been trading for a while, okay? If you have not been trading for a long period of time, you're trying to learn this new system, do not just jump into a trade when a signal come across. It's the same as if you get the big arrow on the chart, or a triple arrow shows up, or you get a big arrow on the chart, and then now it moves. But you don't enter into the trade because you've seen the signal pop up. You still have to get your confirmations off your own charts. It's just showing you what they're doing. With the service that they're providing is a service. Hey, this is what we see. Go back and look and see if you see the same thing. If you see the same thing and you feel comfortable taking a trade, take the trade. If you do not feel comfortable taking the trade, do not take it. That is 100% all you have to do. If you miss out on the trade, if you miss out on that one trade, it's going to be millions more coming. Don't be such in a rush to make all this money. That's what the problem comes in, at being greedy. And I'm not saying that everybody's being greedy or just greed is coming into play, but when you're trying to make money hand over fist and people see the potential, that's when you become, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to just jump into it because a signal came across. You cannot do that. If you don't feel comfortable and with all the money or like with the lot sizes you want to put in place, put in a smaller one. Just go small, real small. Let's do like a 1 cent, a 1 cent trade, or one cent trade. Put it in there and just see how it works out. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, you're not gonna lose all your money. You won't come into this. You won't come into this page all angry, upset. It's a learning experience, and you have to take it as such. You cannot just come in here and think Jenny and Pat and Elvis is going to make you rich overnight. It's not going to happen that way. People understand it's not going to happen that way. You have to learn the system that you're using, and you have to learn how to analyze the signals that have been provided to you. You have to take baby steps. You have to.
Thank you so much, guys.
That's all I have to say.
Guys, I don't usually get super loud or and I guess I'm going to have to get a backbone if I'm going to do that, but he's right. If you guys don't see the signal, then you should not take the signal. I still get signals from multimillionaires who are better traders than me, and I'm like, I don't see it. And sometimes they win and I miss out, and sometimes they lose, and I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, we have to decide there's ownership. There's no signal that is going to make you rich. Some of them you will agree with, some of them you won't. Some of them will be late, on time, amazing, good, bad. But that gentleman who just spoke is right, and that's somebody who's a 7-year veteran who's trading longer than I have. The only thing we can do is say, hey, this is a trade idea. Take a look. If you like it, great. If it matches your rules, great. And if not, please don't take it. But whoever that gentleman was who was with the mouth on him, I don't do that. I don't do that. Don't bring me your mouth, please. Seriously. Plus, I'm a lady.
Yeah,
absolutely, and I totally agree. You do not deserve that, Jenny. You do not
that was disrespectful, and I'm saying
absolutely.
That nobody has to be a part of the group. If you're not prepared to lose, we said that from the beginning, then don't be a part of it. Save your $69 and don't come in. But we are prepared from the beginning to blow our accounts. That's why we are here.
And just for the record, I didn't call any of those. I sleep during London, so everybody knows I'm asleep during London. There's no question in that. I need my beauty sleep. So,
hey, Jenny, can I say something about that as well?
Yeah, go ahead, Avery.
Hey, how's it going? How are you feeling today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. First of all, I just want to say thank you so very much for you and Uncle Pac for even doing this service, because I remember watching his older videos, and he did a signal service at one point in time, and he quit just based on that kind of experience as well. So yes, the dude is very disrespectful. Number two, I made a lot of money off that gold trade, and that's because I managed it. When it went into profit, I did exactly like you had instructed. Put your stop loss, but then profits. I put my stop loss within break even. cut off my position a little bit, so I took some money off the table and then let it run. Yeah, it hit my stop loss, but it hit my stop loss while I was in profit, so I didn't lose in that trade. And number three, this entire service started since Sunday, and I've been much more profitable with this service now than I have trading on my own, because not only have you, but we have Uncle Pat, who's using the same tools that we have access to, who's either confirming, yeah, we're seeing what you're seeing, this looks good, this may not be ready yet, and then we can take the signals back and forth and then compare it to our rules and be like, hey. So for me, kind of increased my confidence a little bit, which made me much more profitable. And it's only been like, what, today's what, Tuesday? So day 2. So I just want to say I greatly appreciate everything that you two are doing, and just keep going at it.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Avery. Hey guys, if you're the odd, you have two choices. You can close it out and we can make it up, or you can widen your stop like I did. If you're in USD CAD, please move your stop into profit. It's like your best bet. Always move your stop into profit. Yeah. So start with that.
Hi, Jenny.
Ladies, speaking up.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Wanted to make a comment. Some of the people that are in here that are upset, and I'm not upset at all. I demoed for a whole year before I went live. This is the first live account I opened. But I knew and felt confident a long time ago, but I still ran into little things that kept coming in my way that I learned. There's so much of a learning process that people need to go through before they go live. And even with a signal, but the signals that we're getting, people should trade them on a demo first if they're new. And I'm hearing people that are brand new that just jumped into this. Really, people need to demo. This is like going to the casinos and gambling if you don't have any skills. You have to learn a skill set.
Aren't you the one that did like a few $100 account with like 30,000 here recently?
What was that?
Didn't you grow your account really large here recently?
I did.
Yeah, how's that going?
Good, and I traded it from, I originally was going to start with $4,000 account live, and so that's why I went in and started with a $4,000 account, and I grew it to 40,000 in 2 months. But I've been trading for quite a while now, and people really need to demo. That's the only way you're going to really get to the point where you're confident and you don't get a stomach ache when you go live, because you know and you can feel how the market dances, because it does. And so I just wanted to share that. And I've opened up several demos and doubled them in a matter of just a couple of weeks. But I did demo for a very long time. And I don't know, maybe Uncle Pat should make it a rule that they've got to be in the group for a little while before they can go into the signal thing, because there's a lot to know. That's just a comment I wanted to make.
Yeah, thank you. I think we're going for less rules and more personal ownership is where Pat is going from, because we're only going to try this once. And me, myself personally, I made a lot of money with the signals when he first started them, just so you know. And no, they were not all winners. There were bad ones. But as I took ownership of that, like I did super well with his signals. And there were some rough weeks, but because I started analyzing my own trades, and I didn't trade that NFP week, I didn't take that huge loss that a lot of people traded. So that was kind of a big deal. So you're right, but at the same time, no matter what's going on, we have to decide. We have to make the decisions for ourselves and analyze for ourselves. And whether you're new or not, that's all it's going to take. So if your trailing stop took you out of USD CAD, I think keep in mind that one has a low spread and a slow mover, so you can probably re-enter that. I mean,
yeah, tag on top of that, Jimmy. You know what? Ain't nobody forcing nobody, and nobody ain't got no gun in nobody's head, threatening their family or their loved ones or their dog or their goldfish for you to take a trade. Now, nobody in here is everybody grown. You pushing that button to execute a trade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to be able to do something like this, you know, we need to be able to succeed together. If a trader, look, man, I lost 12 grand. Ain't nobody made me take that trade. I lost 12 grand.
Oh,
but that's my fault. Who did I cry about? Who did I go blame? I ain't gonna blame you. I put my pants on one leg at a time. I'm a grown man. There's some grown women on here. And we're going to do what we got to do. You want to make this money, make this money. Otherwise, stop crying like a baby. Shut the you-know-what up. Let's make this money. Let's get this skill set down, Pat, so we can free ourselves from these issues that we got in our lives. Whatever your it is, keep it in your face and stop pointing the finger at somebody because you didn't make your money. If you came up here to make this money, then make this money, learn this skill set. If you come here because you didn't make the money, that's your fault. You didn't make a mistake, or the market maker was somebody with $100 million move the market. Nobody can control that. Nobody in here can control that. Unless you got $100 million to stop it, then you probably still won't be able to stop because you got to deal with Chase Bank, Citibank, and every other bank, EF, Hutton, and anybody else that's going to move this market. Bottom line, what you going to do when they did that stop hunt for 675 pips? Remember that, Jenny?
Oh my
675 pips in like a second. Man, who can stop that? But I guess somebody can be crying about that too, right? Man, get out of here with that noise, man. Let's make this money.
You guys remember that GBP trade was like literally, I think they did 600 and some odd pips, literally that same in a couple minute period, and then NZD, which as we know is not a fast mover, like it did. God, what did it do? It did almost 1,000 pips or something, like literally in the span of an hour.
I remember I was in that trade. Blew my account quick. That was like I just put $1,000 an hour prior and lost it. Nobody could have saw that. Nobody could have saw that.
And that's crazy.
Hey, Jimmy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this? DJ?
Dorian.
So you sound alike though.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like a telephone interview because I remember during your last class you had a gentleman who was having issues with entering, and you went over a pair with him, and you just simply asked him based on where the price action was at, what would you do next? And he was very honest, and he said, I don't know. So what I did is I went to my friend's house that I've been sitting with him and going over trading, and I showed him the same video, and I paused it, and I asked him the same question you asked the gentleman. What do you see, and what would you do next? And he just flat out said, I don't know. And I told him the reason why I came to his house to show him that video, because I wanted to see how far or how much knowledge he had at the time. Because he wants to participate in the six-figure challenge, but I keep telling him, you gotta have experience, you know, and Pat and Jenny and the others, they don't want anyone to blow their accounts or to be disappointed. I've sat with him, literally, I've held his hand ever since the beginning when we signed up. I studied myself when I was in college. I even studied well into the morning, and I would get some sleep after Pat's class. And I have enough knowledge now to be confident in my own analysis and doing my trades. And he did text me about the six-figure challenge on the website, and he said, how come it's not available? And that's when I let him know it hasn't started yet. Plus, you got to have experience, you know. And I don't want him to, because he's in a situation like a lot of other people probably are, where he wants to quit his job. And it is killing him. He's a mechanic. He's a really good guy. People take advantage of him. But at the same time, he hasn't really pulled his own weight. So I haven't been back to his place in about 2 weeks because I'm in a situation now where I have to take care of my grandfather. His partner passed away. So the funeral's today, actually. And as far as I'm concerned, I've done my part. I've helped to set up his charts, just like Irving would help people here in the group. So now it's really up to him, and I'm hoping that he could pull through. And I'm hoping that he does not try to join the six-figure challenge, because I don't think it's going to be good for him. He has zero knowledge. And for those who are just beginning, who are here right now, if you don't feel confident, if you know that you're not ready, do what Barbara just said. Go on demo, you know, and trade and study the strategies. And if you want, like Pat said, you could supplement your your education by going to babypips.com. You could go to VP of No Nonsense Forex as well. as well. And just study. You know, it really comes down to how much you want it. I wanted it real bad. That's why I would study well into 4, 5 a.m. in the morning. Because I told you, that's when I found Pat. I found Pat at almost 3 a.m. in the morning. Because I was really determined to find a good education company. And thank God I found Pat and you and Irving and now Elvis. But like I said, if you're not ready, please don't do it. You know, because
here's what we said is like if you're not at a point where you understand, then just be smart enough to take it on on a smaller percentage. So don't go for 20%, just go for 5% and come along with us. Come to the challenge with us anyways, and maybe do it on a demo or do it on a 5% per trade. But don't enter a trade until you've analyzed it. Again, that was kind of the message that Pat and I wanted to get across was, okay, you guys can still join it, but just join it in a way that you guys can mentally and emotionally handle it, meaning you know how to analyze your own trade, at least reasonably well. You know how to enter a stop loss and take profit. And either do a demo account or just do like 5% or less. Because it would take you a very long time to enter a trade or to load an account with 5% or less. I promise. It would take a long time. So.
Yeah, because I think his handicap is he's very computer illiterate, so maybe I shouldn't worry too much. Because he didn't even know how to drag and drop. He's had a computer for 10 years, but it was just to make his invoices and stuff. So I'm hoping with my absence, maybe that will induce some action on his part to take responsibility and start studying. Because I didn't want him to lean on my shoulder or to rely on me too much. And he's tried to get his wife and his son interested in it so that they could teach him once they learn. But it really boils down to us taking personal responsibility and how much you want it.
This is true. That is totally true. So, okay, guys. Well, I think that's enough for today. The Euro Chef, I think somebody posted in the group, is in profit. Euro GBP is in profit. USD CAD was in profit, although you probably got stopped out on that one. GBP odd may or may not have hit a stop loss, depending on if you moved it. So you saw that I moved mine. It is kind of a stop loss in all fairness, but if your account can hold it, hold it. If not, I get it. Most of the trades have been winners. I would wait if you're going to try to re-enter the CAD JPY. Just wait for a confirmation. At the time it was called, I'm pretty certain that it went into profit from there for now and later for the few pips, like what they're doing in that particular respect. So yeah, we'll kind of go from there. But I think that's enough. I'm going to get a cup of coffee and call it a day. So I super appreciate you guys getting on. This will be recorded. I just wanted you guys to have a kind of a foundation of what we're going to be doing, what to expect, answer any questions, and let's just try to have a good time with it, okay?
Thank you, Jenny, so much.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks, Jenny. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jenny.
Have a good day, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you, Jenny.